The following is a UTV 44 sports production. Friday Night Rivals. The UTV 44 High School Football Game of the Week.
Another season of high school football action here on UTV 44. Tonight we go out to West Mobile, where some teams are playing jamborees, but this one counts tonight. The Baker Hornets in the new 7A classification playing host to the Williamson Lions to open up the season here tonight on UTV 44. Good evening, I'm Jim Cox. My partners Dan Brennan and Vic Lockett for another season here. And Dan, this Baker team, we've seen it the past 3 years. They're on the rise. They have big expectations this year.
Oh, they're on the verge, and even moving up to 7A, I think they expect to play in the playoffs in the postseason this year. Jack French has done a great job. Everybody has always said, Baker's got the potential. All those kids, when will they start to win? Kids are now staying in the Baker school system because they think that they can win here.
They are a tough football team, and it starts right here.
It really does. Bert Chappell is a quarterback, yes, but he's a football player. He is as tenacious a player as we saw last year. This is a quarterback that on some design plays is actually the lead blocker, Vic, if you can believe that. And he just eats it up. He loves the physical aspect of the game of football. He's always fun to watch.
Vic, this is a Williamson team, haven't made the playoffs since 2007. They've been really struggling as of late. They've changed some things up on offense to try to get it going the right direction.
That's right. Their quarterback started out the year last year at wide receiver. Then they moved him to quarterback. Good-looking kid right there, 6'5", 190 pounds. Last year, he rushed for 800 yards, passed for 1,000. Already committed to Arkansas State. We're going to run a ball control offense and multiple at the same time. So this will be interesting to see it work.
Kickoff just a couple of minutes away. Williamson and Baker, this is the 5th time they've met. Williamson has won all 4. We'll see if the trend is your friend here this evening. Kickoff comes up next between Baker and Williamson as we start the season on UTV 44. Big crowd in West Mobile as we get ready to get this one started. Williamson will kick off. Jeremy Hickbottom will kick. Trey McMillan and Juwan Gaynor back deep for Baker. And McMillan will take it at the 6. The sophomore Bragg up the middle, hurdles his own man and gets tripped up at the 36-yard line. He had a big hole. And let's go down to welcome in the 4th member of our broadcast crew, and a special welcome as she joins us here tonight, Ashley Pope. Good evening, Ashley.
Hey, thanks, guys. I just want y'all to know this season the players are having to condition themselves differently. Coach Sumter said after last year, their guys just could not make it to the 4 quarters. So they have started doing the hurry up in between plays to get their guys faster, more muscle, so they can have the stamina of lasting 4 quarters. These guys have been in the weight room all summer, and now they're ready to get the field tonight. Back to y'all.
Sounds like Dan and I as the give to the fullback Matthew Walker, and Walker up to about the 43-yard line.
Boy, even on the kickoff return, Baker very physical. Did you notice that?
Very aggressive. I saw that.
Yep.
Had an alley if he just could have hurdled that one guy.
They've knocked a lot of people on their back, and it looks like this offensive line wants to do the same thing from the line of scrimmage.
Look at 35. He's an offensive line himself there in the backfield.
Walker at 5'7", 243, gain of 5. Now looking to pass. Chappell over the middle of a one-handed grab. Nicely pulled in by the tight end, Holden Burden, and he's down to the 29-yard line. Nice touch and a nice grab by the team.
Very good effort by him. He's excited about it. Inside backer was supposed to cover him, but he was expecting run, and he pulls it right in right there.
27 yards. Chappell to Burden. Burden just a junior. I'll give you a little confidence going to start your football season. Chappell will give it off McMillan. McMillan to about the 22-yard line. Frederick Holmes in there was trying to strip that football away. This Williamson team, big loss. Harry Holmes was their all-everything linebacker, highly recruited, was really expected to be so much a part of this team. He was at Media Days just a couple of weeks ago speaking on it, and then up and moves to Prattville. And so he's no longer on the team, and that was a big loss defensively for this Williamson Lions team.
Well, he's still with the Lions.
A big loss, yeah. McMillan on the right side, a big hole inside the 10-5, touchdown Baker. 22 yards. And the sophomore with a big hole up front and takes advantage of it. He starts the drive with a nice return and closes it there with a touchdown.
Yeah, I had a feeling, Vic, that up front is where Baker was going to be possibly dominant tonight, and so far that's been the case.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, textbook blocking all the way down the field. He just had the smooth sail and just take it on in. Nobody even touched him.
Charles Hagar on for the PAT. Christopher Lett will hold. And the kick is good, and that didn't take long. Just a minute and 42 seconds. And Baker opens up the season with an impressive drive. Trey McMillan with a touchdown from 22 yards to put the Hornets on top. 27-yard reception kind of got that drive going for Din with the haul in there, and then the 22-yard touchdown by Trey McMillan, and that has Baker on top 7-0, and impressive to start this one.
Yeah, Jim, anything they wanted to do, they were going to do in that first drive. They just blew people up front, and Williamson had no answer. Braxton
Ackridge sends this one toward Adrian Portluck, but instead it's Reggie Teagues who comes up and takes it for Williamson, and he's out to the 26-yard line.
See if Williamson can protect a very talented quarterback. He's got some people to throw to, but they're going to have to get the offensive line working hard to protect the big guy so he has some time to throw.
See the scoring drive there, just a minute 42, 4 plays and 63 yards, and there we got Jeremy Hickbottom. Adrian Portluck, who was our guest on the pregame show.
Liked him a lot, huh?
Oh, great young man, 3.5 GPA. Reggie Teagues in the backfield.
So we're keeping the play clock on the field. Don't see him lit up in the end zones.
Hickbottom going to keep it on the right side, cuts it back up to the 30.
Yeah, he's not afraid to carry it in there. Had 800 yards rushing last year, so that's part of their ball game.
What an athlete, huh? A legit 6'5" when he walked into Eastern Shore Toyota.
Yep.
For the pregame show, sometimes 6'5's fudging it.
6'5 on paper isn't always 6'5 in person.
He was 6'5.
Did y'all thought he was back on the back of one of those Tundras?
I'll tell you one thing.
He lifted one up.
If a kid like that size can run that well, what a weapon.
He's just a junior. Bottom gives that one off to Portluck, and Portluck got back to the line of scrimmage, and that was about it there. Pressure right up the middle from the Hornet defense.
Baker into 3-4, Vic, and again.
It's got Danny Smith written all over it, doesn't it? The 3-4.
You know Danny.
Oh, yeah, Danny Smith, good guy. Coached me back in high school. Still looks the same today.
Amazing.
3rd and 5.
I look the way I looked, like in June.
Yeah, I hope Danny's a little easier on these kids than he was on me. Good, hard-nosed coach, knows a lot of football.
Khalil Upshaw splits out, and we'll get a timeout. We know you've been waiting for it all summer long. It's how to reach out to us. Hey, guys, at UTV44.com. Send us your questions. We'll answer them. And also maybe got some questions for Ashley. You know, maybe we have to... It's like, hey, guys, and Ashley now as well. It's not just...
Yeah.
You know, we have to kind of welcome her in.
Well stated, Jim.
I've been working on that all summer.
I can't argue with anything you just said. I mean, Ashley's not a guy.
Mid-season form from our color analyst, Dan Brennan.
And I thank you for that.
3rd and 5 after the timeout.
Lockett staying clear of the vocal debris, waiting for the game to resume.
Well, you taught me very well. It's what I don't say.
Yes.
I have that banner in my
That's it.
bedroom every time I read it
That's
when
how
I get up in the morning.
That's how you keep a job.
Hickbottom, high snap. Rolls to his right, wants to fire, and he does, and it's dropped on the far side. Had a receiver over there. I think that was Upshaw. Would have been a first down. Nope, it was Teagues, and hit him right in the hands, and now you get a punt.
Yeah, ran a little comeback there, just didn't look it all the way in. Coach Sumter imploring him there to say, hey, remember your fundamentals.
Well, I think Sumter, you know, he knows what he's in for here offensively, the way Baker's able to handle them. That's why it's so important to keep the ball away from the Hornets.
Yeah, he says he's got this controlled passing game, so yeah, it's certainly control, meaning he wants to hang on to it as long as he can.
Tonight he'll have to.
Kick all the way back to the 36-yard line. Up the near side into Williamson territory. And great field position for Baker to start it out. Take a look at the games last night. We had the Jamboree going on. Davidson and Daphne played 14-14. Just a tie, 40-13. Murphy Enterprise, and then Foley with the win to open the season, 34-6 over Gulf Shores tonight. Down in the Bayou, number 1 St. Paul's ranked in 5A, makes the road trip down there. See other games. You got Jefferson Davis and LaFleur playing here tonight. How about some of the games tomorrow? Stanhope, Elmore, and Spanish Ford in the Champions Classic. Football on the ground, still loose and recovered by Baker. You also got the Viger Blunt game tomorrow. Could be a few folks at that game, Vic Lockett.
I think so. The Battle of Pritchard, my hometown. If you want to commit a robbery, everybody will be at the stadium, including the police.
Well, I'm not sure that's what we're promoting here, Vic, but Chapel went and got back on top of that football.
Vic Lockett, Crime Stoppers.
They picked up 2 on the fumble. Good look at Chapel.
Yeah, I think that says something about this offensive line. They picked up 2 on the fumble. So the only way Baker so far has slowed themselves down is just that way.
Beat themselves.
Yeah. You don't want to depend on that.
Chapel going the far side. There's contact. No flag.
Yeah, they're going to say their feet got tangled up there. It's exactly what happened. The receiver kind of slowed down to try to locate the ball. And
Donald LaFleur there going against Antonio Bolden.
You see it here, DB just running.
Oh, he just tripped before there was even any contact. That's a good no call by the officials.
Yeah, good job.
Confidence builder for the Zebras. They need it as well.
You're right. This one counts tonight, y'all.
Third and 8. Low snap again. Chapel picks it up, rolls out, strong arms it to the near side, and he's got it complete to the 35. It's going to be very close to the first down.
Right at the sticks, and I think a yard beyond, so first down for Baker Hornets. Good throw by Chapel.
Yep, Christopher Lett with the reception there, the senior.
I had Chapel in Coach French's office about a week ago, and I said, so you got to throw it a little bit more this year? And he said, yeah, I hope more than 3 or 4 times a game. And then he looked up, realizing where he was. He was in the coach's office. That's the guy that makes the decision. Almost like, I'm sorry.
Well, that's what makes Chapel special. He can be a hard-nosed guy, and he's got a decent arm to make some very good passes.
Chapel looking the right side again, looks for Lett and airmails that one over the top to him. Double coverage back there.
A little too strong on that one. Didn't give his receiver an opportunity to it.
Really wasn't the guy to throw to either, because Williamson had that one, unlike some of the earlier plays, had that one covered up pretty well. Haven't seen Chapel just carry it himself. Look for that pretty soon.
2nd and 10. Baker last year finished up at 6-4 and just missed the playoffs. Coach Jack French in his 4th year here. He's 18-13. We're going to talk about what that means a little more as the broadcast goes on. Chapel keeps it himself as if he listened to Dan Brennan and cuts it up the right side. And he's inside the 15 for another Baker Hornet first down.
Well, he showed a little bit of elusiveness there, Dan. He decided not to run over this guy right here on the end. He says, I'll just shake you and come back against the grain. Look at him switch the arm of the football, get it on the right side. And
yeah.
It gives him a little bit at the end, though, doesn't he?
He wanted that shoulder free to do a little damage up around the chin.
Yeah,
and that's Chapel's game right there, and he is he's a quicker, better athlete than some folks may give him credit for.
We saw that last year.
Yeah, the first thing that jumps out is how physical and tenacious he is, but break it down, the guy's got some, he can move.
Handoff around the far side. Ricky Brown turns the corner inside the 10. Touchdown Hornets. Well, they're going to say he stepped out at the inside the 1.
Yeah, I thought Adrian Potluck was about to make a great play there in the backfield, but he let him run through his tackle there.
I thought he snuck in.
Yeah, right here. He comes up and feels it just like he's supposed to, but just couldn't hang on right there, Portluck.
It was a good play by Portluck.
Yeah, he slowed him down, at least delayed the touchdown.
Yeah.
That was Brown's first carry of the evening. And so first and goal inside the 1 yard line.
And here's where Chapel is really a weapon.
McMillan.
They're missing some folks.
Coach French going to take a timeout.
Yeah, probably short a man over there when they went up to the line. Look over to the left where he's going to probably run it. And he didn't want any free guys there to be able to make a clean tackle on him.
I want to thank some of the friends bringing high school football here tonight on UTV 44, including those fine folks. They're all a big part of the broadcast here tonight. Mobile and Baldwin County Sheriff's Department and Drug Education Council.
Oh, Miss Virginia Guy. Great lady that heads it up over there. Vandalyn Pierre.
This Coach Jack French, we were talking about that, you know, so in his 3 years here, he's 18-13. He has more winning seasons here. You know, the past 30 years before they got here, they had more winless seasons, I should say, at 6 than they did any winning seasons. Chapel spins free, and he's in for the touchdown.
Yeah, he just muscled that one in. He knew he was going to keep it if you've done any scouting on this Baker team. Coach French, you know, is going to be conservative. You know, let one guy touch the football and just finish the job right there if you got a weapon like Chapel.
So this domination early on by Baker here, and it's all up front, which is what you said to start the broadcast, Dave. You thought that's where it was going to happen.
Well, you know, I knew they had some guys returning, and also you get the indication when you come out to Baker that they're really well coached, right?
Yep.
So if you've got a group that knows what they're doing, first of all, advantage Baker. And it looks like they've got some people that
Hagar with the PAT.
they got some muscle and physicality up front. That's what they teach out here.
14-0, the Hornets on top early, looking to get their first win ever against Williamson, and they're off to a great start. All Baker early in this one. Braxton Ackridge to kick off. Ackridge spent a good chunk this summer going around to kicking camps all around the Southeast. This one high and short. This one's going to hit the ground. Teagues will pick it up at the 20. And he's slung down at the 24-yard line. Kind of a, gotta see a little challenge out of Williamson here on this series. Haven't seen much of it yet.
Yeah, you know, first of all, you got to catch the third down pass that they had. Hickbottom did a nice job rolling to his right and completing what should have been a first down. That would have taken some of that clock away. And let's see if we see more of Hickbottom running the football too. And Portluck is a kid that can run too. But you got to block up front, guys.
Motion to the near side, and they get off Portlock back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
Well, yeah, too much penetration. Baker, they just playing all on Williamson side of the football, as you talk about. Got to have some line of scrimmage coverage.
7 plays, 45 yards, just over 2 minutes before Chapel took it in for his first touchdown of what will be many this season for the Hornets.
Yeah, because they're going to ask him to do that.
Yep.
You know, they get inside the 5.
Not much urgency Williamson here offensively. Not a lot of, not seen a lot of urgency to get the play in and get up there and try to get something going. Now they'll empty the backfield. Hickbottom right side. Nice toss, and he's got it to Teagues, and Teagues will pick up the first down.
Yeah, that's probably their first of the game, correct?
Yes.
Say Hickbottom's pretty. If you give him a little time, he looks really comfortable in the pocket for a kid that was wide receiver when the season started last year. Very naturally gifted kid.
Yeah, standing tall in the pocket is an understatement by him, being 6'5".
We'll take a timeout. We're going to have these in the early part of the season because of the heat, and
We need it.
more, ever more so than this evening. We're halfway through the first. It's 14-0 Baker as we open the season on UTV 44. First heat time out of the season. And Williamson with the football down by 2 scores here early on, and now they're going to take a timeout right out of the timeout.
Not a wise use of your timeouts, but let's have some special call here and want to make sure it's absolutely correct.
I think they just didn't have the right personnel in. The way it didn't look like a special call as much as a special awakening. I think Sumter's pretty frustrated right now. He's watching his team get handled at the line of scrimmage big time, and then if you can't even get the right personnel out on the field.
Yeah, physical mistakes, mental mistakes, and get you in the game.
Yes.
Don't forget, all season long, you can get great high school football information. Like us on Facebook. Just search UTV 44 High School Football Game of the Week. And Jared Kihas, lots of great information on there.
Yeah.
Some behind-the-scenes pictures, all kinds of fun stuff. Now we're ready to go after the back-to-back timeouts here. 5:16 remaining in the opening quarter.
They just need to possess it, keep it away from Baker, because right now they've got no answers against the Baker offense, starting with that line of scrimmage.
Hickbottom roll to his left, floats it near side, another well-thrown ball to Teagues, who makes a nice move at midfield.
Yeah, he throws it out there effortlessly, doesn't he?
It's pretty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this is what I'd do if I was them, because there's your player right there, number 11.
Yeah, everything needs to go through him, and I think that's their thought process. Trying to do a little control pass, he says, and has a run sprinkled in there.
DB's given the Williamson wideouts a little room.
Yeah, probably.
Don't want to get beat, you know.
Sure,
deep, right?
protecting that speed. Don't want Jim Cox to call his name out, getting blown out for a long pass.
Right up at midfield for the Lions. Hickbottom rolls to his right calmly, and now he'll pull it down and slides at the 45-yard line.
Gee whiz. Hope he didn't hurt himself.
Yeah, it looks like he went down okay. Wise, it's going to be a long season. He doesn't have a big filled-out frame. Protect that little rail he's frame for
Picks
the
up
rest of the season.
Lives to play another day.
That's right. Let Chapel take all those bruises.
Yeah.
Or actually give all those bruises. Right?
Give and take, and he don't care, right?
You know, you see on the sidelines there, not big numbers out at Williamson this year. And last year in their first game, they opened up against Murphy, lost 5 starters to injury in that game, and really kind of derailed the season right from there.
You know, when you're 5A and a small 5A, you just can't have that.
Hickbottom with pressure. Rolls out, now pitches it ahead off to Teagues, and Teagues hit from behind but driven forward up near the 40. It's going to be 3rd and short. Little gamesmanship there by Hickbottom.
Yeah, he looks comfortable back there, ad-libbing as he goes. Not nervous about the pressure. Hey, ho-hum, they're coming at me, so what? Hey, I've got a back right here. I'll flip it to.
Nice job by Hickbottom. There's nothing about him that we've seen that hasn't been up to advertisement. Gonna need some of these guys around him to play well.
3rd and less than a yard.
Here come the linebackers.
Hickbottom to Teagues, and does he hold on to it? I'm not sure he caught that, but they're going to say he did.
I think they're going to give him a gift there. Look at the replay there. I think it kind of one hop there into his belly. Let's see if I'm correct here. Yep, there it goes. That's why you always just pull it in, because these referees are human too.
Yeah, that's right. So he convert the 3rd down.
I think they'd probably go for it there anyway.
Sure.
Interesting on a 3rd and 1. What do? Throw it.
And like you said, there's your playmaker. Roll to this side. It's a nice little chip off block, and then Comes to the Baker sidelines and
Got him.
another catch.
I'll tell you what, rolling to his left, he really puts it there, right? And,
Yeah.
And they always talk about putting it where the other guy can't get it, and that's what he did right there, low and outside.
That's right. Last guy I know with his measurements, 6'5", 190, moved from wide receiver to quarterback. He went in the top 10 to the Miami Dolphins.
Nice stuff right there.
Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, right.
Pickup of 8.
That's right, wide receiver.
That's right. Before there was Johnny Football, there was Ryan Tannehill out at A&M. Of course, it helps your offensive coordinators at the Dolphins, too.
Back to the far side. Kelvin Blackman going to be stopped for no gain. It'll bring up 3rd and short again. But you're right, Dan. Exactly what Williamson needed here. Just get a little rhythm going, get some time, make Baker's offense sit over there for a while.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do defensively if you're Williamson because you're just getting blocked. You know, you can scheme all you want, but I don't know that you're going to have many answers. I think your answer probably is to keep the football away from Baker.
And it's going to be your only option because, hey, let me tell you, tackling is in the game, man.
You're
if
right.
you're not doing it, you're going to lose.
You're right.
And if the other team is blocking you, for certain you're going to lose.
Looks like more confusion here. Let's see if they get the play off.
3rd and 2. They might have to use a timeout. And like I said, the play clock
Refs are
working
keeping it.
here. He does get it. Rolls out with some pressure coming. Now he wants to pull it down. Tosses it, and it's nearly intercepted. Tried to come to the near side. Looked like he may have been able to pull it down and run for it, but tried to make the play. And Christopher Lett was back there.
I mean, that was a great jump on that pass there by Lett. Everything perfect other than catching the football. I mean, he just reads the quarterback eyes and jumps in there at the last second there, but just couldn't hold it in.
And Hickbottom really not working with a clean pocket. And you can see the design plays to move him right and left.
Yeah, they're trying to keep that pocket mobile.
Right.
Because he's mobile.
Yeah.
And why not?
He's mobile, and the Baker defense has been mobile upfield.
Yeah,
Danny
he's
Smith
just
brought
as
the heat.
comfortable sitting there in the pocket passing as he is on the move. Maybe even more so.
4th and 2. Hickbottom, pressure coming. Gets it off to Teagues, and Teagues going to be dropped for a loss. Great penetration in the backfield as Curtis Gildersleeve, who was our guest on the pregame show, blows that one up, and Baker's defense holds.
Yeah, Gildersleeve did a great job there, just reading the screen, going to the back and making the tackle right there just to say, hey, I see you coming, big boy, but I'm right here with you, right there. Through the block to the ball carrier.
Teagues had no chance there.
Gives his offense a chance to get the football.
Physical team at Gildersleeve. Quickness, feet and muscle on that play.
Bring Chappell and the Hornet offense back out. Couple flybys here early on in the game.
Yeah.
We needed them right behind the national anthem. They're a bit late.
Chappell will keep it on the right side. Upended out across the 40 to the 44-yard line.
A good tackle by Stanley Robinson there. Otherwise, Chappell would probably still running.
Sumter was funny when I talked about his team and visited with him earlier this week, and I said, as far as Baker, you watch any film on them? They've got a player, and he interrupted me. He said, Chappell. He said, he's Tebow. I said, well,
That's a great analogy for certain right there.
I mean, he stopped me in my tracks and told me who I was about to introduce to him. Like, yeah, we know.
25 seconds here remaining in the opening quarter. Chappell brings Brown in motion, fakes it to him. Eludes a defender and now wants to launch it to the far side, and he does, and he's got McMillan inside the 20, the sophomore, all the way down to the 11-yard line.
What a pass by Chappell there. All the way across the field to the backside. He knew where he wanted to go, apparently all the way.
Yeah, he
designed
did.
play.
No doubt.
Scrambles
42
out
yards.
of trouble right there. Yeah, gets out of trouble right there and then just slings it right back over there. Hey, play's still good.
Reloads, don't he,
Yeah,
Babe?
he did. That was his first option, and he stayed with it.
Alex Cole had a shot at him, but could not corral him, and that will bring the quarter to a close, and it's 14-0 Baker, and they're driving again down deep as we'll take a timeout and come back to start quarter number 2. We open the high school football season here tonight on UTV 44. Big crowd at Baker Stadium to watch their Hornets take on the Williamson Lions. sure about, and they might be on the verge of some more, as Chappell keeps it on the right side, and he's got a big hole, and he's got it for the touchdown.
Totally uncontested there.
Sold the fake, and Chappell took it on the right side for the easy score.
I mean, it's not a big secret what's going on out here today because you can see it from the kickoff.
Yep.
Physicality, organization of Baker, knowing exactly what they want to do. And they've got the people in place, especially starting with number 5, that can execute what they're trying to do.
You know, Williamson's in position on a couple of times. They're just not executing, just not making the tackles.
Right. Back in the backfield sometimes.
Hagar with the kick, and it's good, and it's 21-0.
And as I said earlier, tackling is in this game.
Charles Hagar, the kicker?
Yes.
Nephew of the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar.
And I don't think that's true. I do not think that's true.
We'll get our fact checkers on that.
Here's a fact. This kid is running like crazy tonight, and that's what we expected.
Uncontested.
Come on, more friends. Mullinex Ford bringing you high school football here on UTV 44.
See Willie Gaston over there.
Welcome them to our broadcast and being a partner of us this season as well. Also, Millsaps Insurance, located at 519 Azalea Road in Mobile, 344-0427. Excellent rates on auto and home, and competitive bond rates as well. Wickman's Ace Hardware. You need your boat lift worked on? There's where you get your parts. Wickman's Ace Hardware, right there on DIP. There's Coach Jack French, 3-time state title winner in the state of Mississippi at Forest High School.
It looks like he's putting together a contender here, Dan.
Really does.
It's his 3rd year.
Very
after 3 now. This is number 4.
Yep. This is 4. Okay.
Very modest gentleman. Gives the credit to all of his assistant coaches and the players.
Soft-spoken.
Yep. Loves those grandbabies, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
We got a good picture with all of them after our pregame show the other night. Braxton Ackridge to kick. He'll boom this one down the right side, and trying to one-hand that one was Blackman. He's running sideways, trying to get to the corner at the 10, and he'll be brought down at the 13-yard line. And a special hello to some folks texting, watching the game over in Fairhope. Brian and Stephanie Metz enjoying the game.
Let's go Mets.
They're big high school football fans. We thank them for watching and letting us know. You can email us, hey guys, at utv44.com. If you have a question for Vic, Dan, Jim, or Ashley on the sidelines.
I usually get all my answers from Dan.
That means you're scoring at it about 50%.
First time anyone's ever cheated off of Dan Brennan's paper. Ever.
I needed you at Bama.
Actually, you didn't, from what we were told. Vic, as Hickbottom was on a hard count here. Williamson down 21-0.
Getting the play from the sideline after the coach takes a look at the D.
Portluck will take the give on the left side and spins at the 20 and brought down at the 22-yard line. Christopher Lett over there to make the stop.
Yeah, Lett wouldn't have been there. I think he would have had something.
Portlock a little slow to get up. Just 3 plays on that scoring drive. They haven't been long, methodical drives.
No.
We'll have to check on the condition of Portluck as he's down in the field.
Hoping maybe that just is wind knocked out of him.
Yeah,
He got hit around the midsection.
Sure, prayerfully we hope he's going to be okay. Slow to get moving there.
Really have not seen any of the, you know it's going to happen at some point, haven't seen any of the cramping issues that you usually see so early on in these games. Everyone hydrating.
Yeah, no matter how hard you run and work out, Jim, you're right, you're going to get a cramp. I believe you get a few sometimes and you're running.
That's more of a hydration issue.
I'd blow at you, Jim, if I saw you out in that heat and one and you're cramping up.
Portluck.
I remember seeing
He looks okay, good.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be just fine. All right, let's go back down. We were talking about the heat. Ashley's going to tell us about it a little bit as well.
Yeah, this was something that was implemented a few years ago by the referees, by the state, to keep the guys with fluids. The officials will implement a timeout for the players to get fluids and hydrated. And as you see what just happened here, it could be a result of needing to keep those fluids going through.
It does get early in the season, and of course, hottest we've had all year rolls around as the season opens up.
Any kids listening, and that means not just hydrating Friday. You need to start Wednesday.
Higgbottom trying to roll to the near side. He's grabbed by a jersey at the 20, and then he's gang tackled by a swarm of Hornets.
Yeah, looks like 10 of them out.
I'll bring up third down. Good pursuit there.
Yeah, he was trying to be patient there to wait for something to open up, just didn't.
You know, this 5 returning starters on defense for this Baker team, 12 of their 15 lettermen from last year back defensively as well. And of course, you got Danny Smith pushing the right buttons there. It's a, you know, and you're going to have to be in 7A. You know, new 7A region, you know, Coach French was saying, you know, in 6A, when the regions were smaller, win 4 games, you're probably going to get in the playoffs. Beat 4 region opponents. Now you got to win 5 because you got 9 teams in the region to feel like you're going to have a chance to get in 7A.
Yeah, it's all the former 6A teams here on this side of the bay, along with Foley
and Fairhope
from Baldwin County. That makes up this brand new 7A. You know,
Region 1 down
Region
here.
1.
Yep.
Net, was it necessary?
I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think
I've heard both sides of the argument.
I just like that you're going to have a new group of kids that are high school football champions that you wouldn't have.
That's true.
For the rest of their lives. They get to be, now you got 7 classes, so you've got 1 extra team winning. So all those, and that, not just in football, in every sport, because it's across all the platforms.
So you like that philosophy? Nobody loses, everybody gets a trophy at the end of the year.
No,
I'm just kidding you, Jam.
Such a despair, just, you know, such a.
You're from Chicago. I know you want a winner and a loser. You tough. You guys are tough up there.
You know, I'm from there, and I don't go back. I'm here, Vic. I'm here.
Well, we still haven't given you a key yet. You're still visiting, Jim. You have to talk with Mayor Dan Brennan about that.
3rd and 12. Higgbottom rolls out, pulls it down, and he pitches it ahead, and it's loose and an incomplete pass as he tried to go to Portluck. And well, he is, even with all the pressure, he is smooth back there in the pocket, doesn't get rattled.
No.
Yeah, he's at the controls, and he'll let you know he's at the controls too. Yeah,
Marcus
take a look
Thomas.
at him there. He still trying to make a play out of nothing, and you want that out of your quarterback, to be the general. You don't want him to be too high, and you don't want him to be too low. He's playing that part very well.
Baker probably looking at another short field, and that's the last thing Williamson needs right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, do they need to help him out any and all?
Portluck will punt, and Trent Archie will stand at the Lion 45-yard line as Portluck will be back around his 2 when he fields this long snap.
Scott just had to be helped off the field, too. We'll see how well he executes the punt.
Baker showing pressure, and they're coming. Portluck with a good kick. Archie takes it at the 45. Back up the middle of the field and to the 35-yard line. Hey, every question or every week we'll ask you a trivia question, and this one, how about entering this season? What team has the highest winning percentage in the playoffs? Minimum of 10 games. You've had to be in for 10 games. Who has the highest winning percentage?
In the state of Alabama history?
Yep. Middle that one through. We'll tell you about that in the second half.
I'm thinking a team that I don't like to call their name, but they have a high school there. Take a guess.
Troy.
Inside give. This is Terrence Beard.
Yeah, Williamson D there had a little slant on it, and they just sort of ran themselves out of the play there. Didn't really need to block them that time, Dan. Just run yourself out of the way, and the back will be right behind him.
You know, these two teams for the last 10 years have had their jamboree on this night. They have played, and so Coach French was saying, I need to make sure our crowd knows this is Brown. Brown steps out of bounds at the 22, knows that this one counts. It's a real game. And you know, it kind of has that feel like everybody's a little slow. It's hot and not really into it.
Well, the blue team's into it.
Yeah.
And also
the crowd here in front of us.
But they showed up.
Yep,
they
really did.
realize, I mean, this is not a jamboree crowd, that's for sure.
And I'm getting texts from viewers out there asking me, is this a real game? Well,
we're here.
That's right. I was about to say, Jim and Dan usually don't come for fake. That chopper lands, that means something's going on big.
1st and 10. Chapel throws back to the near side, and good defense that time.
Yeah, well-designed play, well defended as well.
Antonio Bolden over there.
Good play, Bolden.
All over the floor. Loss of 5 on the play.
Now, there were some jamboree games last night.
Baker Daphne, or Daphne Davidson.
Yep. UMS McGill. Is that for real?
See, that's where I'm confused with all those
things.
things.
That was a jamboree game last night.
I thought everything was real last night.
No, you've got to get to your, so we'll go into that a little later in the second half.
Had to do with 7-8 teams. I know.
Yeah, and you have to have your
10 games in 10 weeks or something like that.
Well, 11 weeks. Yeah, so a lot of the teams will have a bye week off.
Okay.
But you've got to get your region games in. You know, and so if you're a 7-8 team, you got 9 region games in 10 weeks. That's tough. So 7:53 and a timeout here.
Well, Jim, when you start to get into math, you know I am lost. Go past that number 2, I got a problem.
So season starts, and then once we get into next week, next week we're going to see this Baker team again. Murphy, anxious to see the new look Murphy Panthers.
Well, they evidently played pretty well in their jamboree game, getting over 40 against Enterprise.
And that one's a jamboree.
That is my understanding.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I asked you guys, was this 7-8 thing necessary? I know, I like Jim's point, give more kids, get an opportunity to have a championship game.
Well, I think, you're going to have a new winner in 6A this year. You've had Hoover, such domination before that, Prattville, but really it's been Hoover, and so now it really opens it up. And the other thing I like, too, is what it did in 6A, you've got Daphne and Spanish Fort now in the same region, in a region with Blunt and Saraland. I like that a lot in 6A.
Yeah, I mean, that region looks good on the menu.
Yeah.
So it's going to be best against best, too, vying for the championships. Best against best, vying for the championships.
2nd and 15. They give it to LaFleur, and he'll cut it up to the 25-yard line. Tripped up by Alex Cole.
I like the way Cole did that.
Here's the 7A. So you got all the big boys. Alma Bryant, Baker, Davidson, like Dan said, Fairhope and Foley playing over here. Mary G with new coach Mike Dean. McGill Tulin, new coach Caleb Ross. Murphy and Theodore in there. So those are all the big schools. And they make up the 7A region. 3rd and about 14 here for Burt Chapel and the Hornets. Chapel eludes the pressure. Now pulls it down, but he's not going to be able to get away this time, and he's brought back at the 33. And see a little life out of this defense from Williamson for the first time this evening. Stanley Robinson, second time we've called his name tonight, in there with a stop, and also coming over to help out Tyson Patrick, the linebacker.
Yeah, Tyson's been pretty busy tonight. Just hadn't had a chance to point him out, but he's making himself known here again tonight. On that play, I should say.
4th and forever. 4th and about 20. We'll call it 21, says statistician Brian Aaron.
How about a pooch kick from Chapel? What do you think about that?
He's Tebow. You called
it. That's it. Well, that's what Sumter said.
Yeah, we got to see the jump pass before we anoint him as such.
Line up with McMillan and Beard in the backfield, and now Coach French will take a timeout. I think he's rethinking this, maybe see if he sends the punt team out after the timeout, maybe. So here's the new Region 1 in 6A. Baldwin County, Blunt, Citronelle, Daphne, Gulf Shores, LaFleur, Robertsdale, Saraland, Spanish Fort. I mean, look, Blunt, Daphne, Saraland, Spanish Fort. I mean, just what a tough region that has become. And of course, so you've got Spanish Fort, winners of the back-to-back 5A champions. championship, and now they come into 6A. Well, you know, there's still going to be a very good, dominant team there. I don't think anybody questions that. But I think you see, it's just the competition week in and week out is going to be so much tougher.
Yeah, because 6A is the new 5A, basically, you know?
And here's 5A, BC, Rain, Escambia County, Faith, Jackson, St. Paul's, Viger, and Williamson. You got St. Paul's right now ranked number 1 in the state, and you got Viger, who is ranked number 3 in the state. And so you lose Saraland out of this region, and oh, here comes Jackson to replace you.
Right.
So not a...
So to make an analogy, you guys would like the super conferences in college playing each other, right?
Well, that's what it's kind of come down to.
Jim, you want Northwestern in there, the Chicago guys?
So they will not punt.
As Jim just they'll acknowledge what I asked.
Spread the field. Chapel over the middle, throws that one, and it's incomplete. And they're going to throw a late flag for pass interference.
I think they're going to get him for a defenseless receiver there. It kind of got there a bit early and was vicious with it.
Was looking for Daniel Barston, the senior, who got some playing time last year as a junior.
This may be a personal foul, Jim. Let's see what they do here.
And good job that the kid got up from that, because that did look pretty violent.
Jack French, watch it again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He wasn't here before the play.
Yeah, but he's in a precarious position.
Yeah. I wonder if we have a targeting.
Well,
possibly.
if he targeted, he didn't get above the shoulders, I don't believe. But let's see what.
Got him maybe a little high there with the shoulder pad on the helmet.
I don't know.
It's just so bang, bang. I mean, that's just bang, bang there. Targeting the head, that's it.
He did get him for it.
Jack French was actually concerned that his team would be victimized by this penalty because of the way that they teach a very physical brand of football.
Well, he's a Pierce like myself, and he likes to see the hitting and tackling. You know, this is football, not
and this
tiddlywink.
And I think this is always the toughest part at any level of football.
Fourth and about 20 something, so it's not going to be a first.
Targeting on the defense, we got a 15-yard penalty.
So it's going to be a 4th and 6 now, but it's such a bang play, especially for the defender, and you've got the receiver who's coming down from a jump, so his head is actually being lowered.
Yeah,
and his head is in motion, not necessarily just lowered. It's in motion going there.
4th and 6.
Well, the good thing, we're not seeing any players being ejected or anything.
Down to the 10-yard line, and that's going to be good for a Baker first down. Wow, so Williamson would have had him stop there.
Yep.
Instead, they give him
it's
another opportunity. We've got an injured Lion.
We've got a guy on this defense a lot of people like up front.
Now, let's hope this kid's okay. Seems to be in a little bit of pain, but they're kind of letting him lay there just a minute to maybe get the wind back in him, and let's hope that's all it is. Just need a break.
Jeffrey Hickbottom. Looks like they're maybe checking out his left. Yep, got rolled up there.
Oh, yeah.
Engaged in the block, and then his own player was the one who rolled on him there.
The guy up front a lot of people like is Curtis Carson. Big kid who's got a number of schools very interested in him, and maybe more on the way as they see him play further into the season.
This coach Dedrick Sumter, his 3rd year here at Williamson, 4 and 16.
Yeah, he's pretty
his
concerned.
First 2 seasons.
That's what he told me. It's all about the kids. That's why he's there. And that's makes good coaches when it's about the kids.
He was at Bullitt County before that. And came down here and took the head job at Williamson.
Looks like he's getting up. He'll be helped off, but let's hope that's not too serious.
No weight at all on that ankle. It's just, 5A team also playing a 7A team to open up the season. You're going to get banged on a lot in this game.
A dwindling 5A team.
Yeah.
A very small roster for even 5A.
We talked about it in the pregame show, Dan, in our 14th year doing this, and those those great Williamson teams in the early 2000s all the way through 2005, 2006. I mean, just so much offensive talent under Bobby Parrish.
And defensive speed, too.
And meanness. They were a fun football team to watch.
Watching those games from the press level at Lad People Stadium, you know, and it was as close to college-like action as you could ask for.
And watching the kids walk over from the school. And, it was just those were really fun Williamson teams to watch.
Bobby Parrish, now an assistant principal over at LaFleur, was the longtime coach there. Ashley, our sideline reporter, knew him down in Theodore when he was with the Bobcats.
Yeah, he was a heck of a player down in Theodore and coached down there for a while as well. Bobby P. Maybe Bobby P's watching tonight.
I believe he would be.
1st and 10. Chapel keeps it. There's a flag for a hold, it looks like, and Chapel gets down to about the 4-yard line.
A couple of guys competing all the way back to the 25-yard line.
Just Goodhart competing there.
Yeah.
No flag, no harm, no foul.
Except we do have one flag.
Patrick, not on those guys, but I think Tyson Patrick there trying to locate the football, just couldn't get off the block.
I'm sure this is going to be a hold. There it is right there.
Yeah, that's Tyson Patrick. He's getting held there.
So it was on one of those guys.
Right.
Check that.
It was Terrence Beard who was battling with him. Fullback against a linebacker.
Yeah, quietly, Patrick has really been a light for that Williamson defense.
The holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
If it's holding that we see, it's going to get called.
First and 20. Probably get a heat timeout after this play, I would guess. Take him usually around the 6-minute mark. Chapel looking at the near side. LaFleur back shoulder, and he's got it inside the 5.
No, they're waving it off.
But he cannot stay in bounds.
I thought he had a nice catch there, adjusting his body, like you said, with the back shoulder catch, which just became such popularity here in the past 3 years. Looks like he executed it to me. Let's take a look here.
I'm not sure he's trying to throw back shoulder. He did throw back shoulder, and there you go.
Good call.
Didn't get in.
Officials have been on it tonight. They've had a solid game. And now we'll get our heat timeout, and
I need one, Jim. I've been talking too much.
I tell you, that was just in time.
We'll take it with him. 5:46
Brian Aaron, a statistician.
remaining here in the first half. It's been all Baker so far. Baker Williamson opening the season on UTV 44. Westmobile, Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Ashley Pope on the sideline, Jared Kihas in the truck. Brian Aaron, our statistician, bringing you this one here tonight as we open the season. Second down, Chapel fires it out on the far side to about the 17-yard line. Marquise Owens with his first catch tonight.
Yeah, he sucked that one right on in.
Just a junior. Third down and be somewhat manageable here. Still 3rd and long, but better than the 2nd and 20 that they were facing. And this Williamson team opens up tonight here at Baker, and then they go at Blunt, at Jackson for the first 3 weeks of the season. McMillan down around the 10-yard line. They'll bring up 4th down.
He's got him in a spot where they could go again, for sure.
If you look here, Williamson's in business to make play right there, but they just don't execute it.
You know, you wonder, you think about going for it here, but you also, you know, it looks like Baker probably has this game in hand. Want to get your kicker,
get him some work.
Well, a field goal, you know, get your kicker an in-game action here.
Well, he spent all the time at those kicking camps. Make it worth his time.
Charles
He's been
Hagar.
making 50-yarders in practice.
Hagar. This one will be from 28, and it does not get there. Didn't get that one squarely at all. Pushed it off to the right.
Not only that, he just didn't get much of it.
Nope.
There's something about the 50-yarders
Yeah.
when no one's watching, right?
It's in my mind for this year. And they almost tried to return that one, too. So really deja vu started spinning in my head.
You were about to just run to the car, weren't you?
Yeah, I was going to go get my little hanky out.
About more of our friends here on high school football on Friday nights. So we'll see Williamson come back out. I'll tell you the one bright spot they have had, that young man, Hickbottom.
Looks good.
Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers for the Lions. Portluck now will come in behind him, and does not take the handoff. They get it to Teagues on the far side. Teagues out to about the 27.
Nicely designed play. Executed pretty well.
One of our friends bringing high school football, the orthopedic group. Experience, excellence, and trust. Advanced collision. And also Greer's. Vic Lockett.
Oh, yeah. My man Robert Greer. Finest fella I know that wear the red, white, and blue, other than that orange and blue.
2nd and 3 here for the Lions. We're inside 4 minutes in the first half. Hickbottom on the keeper, and he's going to be hit and dropped. Great pursuit. Coming back in was Drayton Law.
It looks like he wanted to pass off of that, Dan, as being his second option, but
Never got to it.
yeah, they just ate him up real quick before he could even get his mind set.
Well, he was coming this way. He had trips out this way, so there was definitely going to be a design where he could have found somebody. No time.
But they found him first.
They did.
2nd and 3 becomes 3rd and 10.
Yeah. Again, up front, that's where Baker's winning this game. Offensively, and you can see it as well defensively.
That only leaves special teams, and I don't think Williamson doing anything there.
No, true. But give this guy a little time and see what he can do.
No, he's a talent. I do agree with you there. He's got some ability.
Hickbottom steps up in the pocket, fires it on the run, completed nicely on the far side. He's got a first down.
And there's that talent we're talking about.
Big time play right there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Khalil Upshaw with the catch. Just like that pocket presence. Doesn't get rattled, stepped up.
You know, it's you get good at something if you're used to it, and he's been harassed all night.
Sure.
But you can't teach that.
No. Yeah, you've either got that demeanor or you don't.
20-yard pickup.
Apparently, he does have that demeanor.
Biggest play of the night offensively for Williamson. And we've got a Williamson player slow to get up on the far side.
Yeah, that's kind of strange there. Looks like didn't see it till later. Hope the kid didn't just collapse there. He's moving around, but stepped the wrong way and hurt something.
Might be
Concerned about his left shoulder, left arm.
Ladarius Hale, the center on this offensive line.
At this point, that's certainly not where you want to get an injury, because you've been practicing and working with the first team a lot with that center.
And they're always at a shotgun.
Yeah. And you're off on that, it's disaster.
We saw a Williamson game. It might have been 7 years ago, Jim. First string center was hurt. Second string center, they continue to run the shotgun with no success because the poor kid
continuously snapped it over his head.
No,
it low.
It would not get to him. Just and it
bowled it to him.
There was a big drop between first team and second team, and it just showed itself that night.
And it just really threw their offensive rhythm out the whole night.
There's Danny Smith. We've talked about him.
He's liking that 0 on the board. If he's trying to get a shutout.
Vic Lockett went into the Shaw Athletic Hall of Fame. I remember he talked about Danny made him the man that he'd become, and big tears rolling, very much like a Michael Irvin thing. A lot of tears.
See, I remember Vic's speech very Michael Jordan-like, where he was very angry at everyone. Because that seems so much like Vic Lockett, doesn't it? It seems so much like our Vic Lockett.
You know, I never saw that speech.
Anybody who had ever dissed MJ, he
went after him, huh?
He pulled out like the big old-time scroll and read it down. They get Hale up. We've got the Williamson band coming up at halftime and the Baker band.
Now Ashley's going to chat with Coach French before he leaves the field. Get an idea what he's thinking about with his Baker team.
Coach French probably will not speak long enough to delay the start of the band.
I don't think so.
I would not think.
Not exactly Zig Ziglar, but we like him, and he certainly produces winning football teams.
Still 10 to Hale there, and now he's up to his feet.
Thank God, he's be okay.
It's a nice thing that the Baker kids do. The Baker student body stands and
show very good sportsmanship.
They really do. They stand with their hand out to kind of show a prayer or care for the injured opponent.
It's a big stadium here.
It's a big school.
A lot of folks. Second largest in 7A. And
think about this. The only school bigger around here is South Alabama.
Blitz coming. Hickbottom eludes it. Now floats one down the near sideline looking for Teagues, and he can't hold on to it.
What a throw.
Yeah, on the run.
Under pressure.
The receiver located the football, got his hands in the right place, just didn't collapse at the right time. You got to look it in, collapse your hands. Yeah, he just effortlessly throws it right there, right on the money.
He just
maybe a hair too deep.
Just flicked it down there.
Yeah, I remember when Jamarcus was young, especially when he was young, sophomore, junior year, they had some guys that could snatch it out of the air, too. They not only had a great quarterback, they had wideouts that were big and lean and could run.
Same high school.
Yes.
About the same height.
Yes. I think he runs it better than Russell.
2nd and 10. Gildersleeve can't wrap him up. Now he'll pull it down. Hickbottom out near midfield. He's got a first down to the 49 into Baker territory.
Yeah, just as Dan compliments his running ability, he displays it right on cue.
Yeah, he may have to do more of that. You know, just when the pressure comes, there's going to be some gaps downfield if you can elude, and he can elude. Big kid.
Got 2 minutes here in the first half.
Got a text from Terry Curtis. That game against McGill last night was a jamboree, was a preseason game, so that
clarifies that.
That clarifies that, right? Not every 7A team was involved in a game that was a keeper. More pressure.
Hickbottom steps up, tries to get back to the line of scrimmage, and he stood up there, and he's going to lose a couple.
Now, one issue I see there, he's got his linemen doing like us watching the game. When he's scrambling around, they got to protect him back there. Find somebody else with a different color jersey and nothing else standing in front of him.
Yeah. If you didn't stand in the ticket line, you got to get busy.
You got to play.
Loss of 3.
Well, that kid's going to... He'll be asleep on the bus on the way back to town, won't he?
Be able to nap for like an hour and a half with traffic to get there. 3rd and 13 coming up. Now, the one thing we have not had, many flags. Usually so many week 1 games, you see so many flags. Just haven't seen them.
No.
Yeah, pretty clean, huh?
On the offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Back him up 5, and now we've got...
He's back to 2nd down, actually.
2nd and 18, yeah. They had flipped the marker on the field, but it should be 2nd and 18 here.
Nice job of keeping the ball away from Baker again this time. The Williamson's defense stood up a little bit late in the half.
Hickbottom over the middle, and that's incomplete. Oh, flag comes up. That was a little late.
It looks like they were trying to run the screen. They may get him for a lineman downfield too early.
I think they're going to say I think it's going to be on Baker.
Yeah, it's going to be on John Burnett. I think the linebacker came too soon, and I think that may be a legit call. Bang, bang play, but Burnett with his hands on the receiver a little too quickly. I think that's the call.
Indeed it is. Now Williamson going to have to hurry a bit here with 47 seconds left.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
2nd and 3 coming up. It's where you get a pass interference penalty and it doesn't convert to a first down.
Yeah.
And the clock winds. Just as I talk about no flags, now they start to pile up. Christian Boston came across too quickly over there on the right side.
Or he either influenced the lineman. Yep.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Back to
left tackle saw him coming and he got a little anxious there.
We've done week 1 games where there'd be so many flags that highlights would end up on the Weather Channel. They would cover it. This one not so much, and you got it with this heat and obviously the humidity. And Jim, just not the heat tonight, but in preparation for this game.
Oh.
The whole week's been brutal.
Yep, really has been a tough.
But we didn't get any bad heat to me all summer until now.
Yep.
It's been relatively comfortable, not like Chicago, but for Mobile.
Hickbottom be dropped back on the other side of the 50-yard line, all the way back to the 47, and now with 14 seconds left, Williamson going to have to hurry to try to get a playoff here. 3rd and 13, and Hickbottom was just trying to.
I think they got a timeout in.
Baker actually may have taken the timeout. Yeah, they did. I think they just want to make sure they didn't get caught in some, as Fred Riley would call it, the PE pass.
Yeah.
At the end of the half.
Georgia called a timeout right before Auburn threw it, too. Doesn't always work out.
One of our longtime watchers of high school football, Frank Lott, enjoying the game tonight, sitting on his porch.
The emerging president of the Chamber of Commerce,
Yes,
I believe.
he is very active in the chamber and travels all over with them, and a very good ambassador for Mobile.
Went into
Picked a muggy night to be out on the porch, I tell you.
He has, yeah.
I think he's staying cool while he's out there.
He may have one of those outdoor air conditioners.
Yes.
Went into Frank at the various home shows. Good guy that knows what he's doing business-wise, and also a good fella. He's going to be good at that position for the city.
Yep, very pro-Mobile.
Yep.
Pressure, Hickbottom.
Baker's got defenders all the way at the goal line.
And he'll just get knocked out of bounds, and that'll bring the first half to a close. An impressive first half for Baker. 21-0 our score. Ashley Pope down on the sidelines, and she's got Coach French.
Hey, Coach French, 21-0 right now. You got to be a happy man. Is there anything out there you want to work on?
Well, obviously, there's some things. I think we're having a little breakdown in communication, and we're letting some big plays get away from us. But we're playing hard, and it'll be okay in the second half, I think.
It seems like the heat is in favor of your boys right now. What will you be telling them in the locker room to keep them ready for the 3rd and 4th quarter?
Well, we just want to play within ourselves, and not do anything stupid.
Gotcha. Have a great half. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach French, he is one of the guys you just love to sit and talk football with. And
He'll talk, and it's a
throwback. Yeah,
it's
it
a
is.
Throwback conversation.
It's not Throwback Thursday. It's every day with Coach French.
Yeah,
Here's the deal. If you guys listen, you'll learn something.
Hey.
But he's right about that.
Our Advanced Collision Tank Brown Player of the Game this year. Go to local15tv.com and you can click on the high school football player of the game. At the end of the game tonight, we will have 3 choices for you. as to who you can vote on next week, then we'll tell you all about it at halftime next week. When we come back, we will hear the Williamson Band. It's halftime here in Game 1 of the high school football season on UTV 44. Baker on top. Halftime here at Baker. Let's get down and enjoy the Williamson Band. Turn it up at your house. Continue on with our halftime show. Let's go down and enjoy the Baker Hornet Band. Halftime here out in West Mobile. Baker and Williamson opening up the high school football season here on UTV 44. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, and a warm night for sure. And we really haven't seen the effects that maybe we were concerned about. The players seem to be ready to get after it. But one thing we did see, Baker came out from the opening kick to take control of this one.
You know, we thought that maybe if they had the big advantage on the line of scrimmage, that was going to be enough. And I think that's what it's been so far. They've just been able to block Williamson at the point of attack. And they've got some guys that like to be physical with the football, and it's all paying off so far.
Take a look there in the offense, 184 total yards for Baker High School, 103 on the ground, and really just only 71 and only 17 rushing yards. I think that speaks so much to what you're talking about, the line of scrimmage play.
Yeah, you got to control the line of scrimmage. It is about blocking and tackling. Looks like Baker's doing both. The other team's doing less, so it's indicative of the score.
Scored 21-0 here at the half. Chappell, 6 rushes, 32 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and McMillan, 4 rushes for 43 yards. But Hickbottom, we really like, hasn't got the big total gaudy numbers, but really like the way he's throwing the football.
Well, it's, you know, you see flashes of what this kid can do. He's not getting a whole lot of help around him in terms of blocking up front. He's not getting a whole lot of help in terms of catching the football downfield. But what he is showing is that he can play. And you can, 6'5", can move and can certainly throw it. So he's fun.
Yeah, he's going to have to make some plays for him here in the second half for them to get back in the game. When we come back, we'll hear again from Ashley Pope. We'll find out what Coach Dedrick Sumter had to say, and then we'll come back for the second half kickoff after this on the UTV 44 Game of the Week. Just about ready to start quarter number 3. Let's go back down to our sideline reporter, Ashley Pope. Ashley.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Coach Sumter coming out of the field house. To be down 21-0, he is in a wonderful mood, he said. He said, we are just gelling. We are having communication issues that we need to work on. I asked him about the physical strength of his team right now. He said, we have just got to quit running into each other and we will be just fine. So he's ready for the third quarter to start.
They're going to need it going here in the second half. And get kind of lulled a little bit. Play kind of lulled a little bit there, latter stages of the second quarter, but we'll see if...
Well, I think Williamson kind of kept the thing in, you know, within distance of having a shot to get back in the game, because it looked like he was going to get it way away from them very early. As you take a look at Jack French.
Williamson will get the ball to start the third quarter.
Well, that's the good news they've heard thus far, and let's hope that they do something with it. And change the tempo. They gave plenty time left. Hopefully they went in and made the right adjustments, and just asked the guys to come out and give full effort. He's still in coaching right there, Coach Sumter, imploring coaches as well as players. So that's what the head job is about.
Talented young man right behind him there when he was strolling along, number 11, Hickbottom. They just have got to give this young guy some help. But if you like to see big, talented young quarterbacks, even though Williamson's down 21-0, take a good look at number 11 where they get the ball and his talent just drips off him.
Kelvin Blackman, Reggie Teagues, and Adrian Portlock are back deep to receive the Braxton Ackridge kick. Ackridge knuckleballs this one down to the 10. Taken there by Blackman. Across the 30 to the 32-yard line. And we'll see Jeremy Hickbottom and his Lion teammates come back out here. Control ball with the top.
Controlled passing game, Vic. That's what he's trying to establish here, right?
Yeah, that's what he emphasized he'd like to do. And you guys have pointed it out. Hey, if he can just methodically move the ball down the field, get a couple of scores, they're right back in the football game. Just keep away from that potent offense that Baker has.
Baker's defense, Jim, has been really kind of crowding the line of scrimmage and just keeping enough pressure on Hickbottom, yeah, where he just has not been able to make plays easily.
Empty set for Hickbottom, and now Portlock will come back behind him and take the handoff and go up the middle. there, but the Hornets nest.
The only one that's been able to run it has been Hickbottom himself.
I want to thank the Mobile and Baldwin County Sheriff's Department and the Drug Education Council, being part of high school football, and remind everybody about the facts with the awfulness of spice out there in our community. Make sure everyone knows the dangers of that deadly drug.
Two great organizations there, the County Sheriff's Department, Sam Cochran, and Drug Education Council. Jimmy Guy.
2nd and 10, up the middle again. Portlock, it's the 35 to maybe the 36-yard line before he's wrapped up and brought down on the play.
He's kind of finding his way there, not really motoring through there like the coaches probably would like him to, but just kind of picking his steps and picking up minor yardage when you need to just be really going forward there.
The good news was he got some blocking, which is, you know, let's see what they can do with some.
Which has been lacking, correct?
Yes, it has.
3rd and 5.
Got him bunched up over there. Now he crowds it out again. Sending it back to his right.
Hickbottom slings it on the far side, and it's dropped. 2nd time tonight. A receiver's really let him down. It would have been another 1st down.
Yeah, he's putting it there.
Yep, Teague's unable to hold.
And that one was a nice, soft, catchable ball. And just let it get into his pads and wouldn't even pull it down.
Leonardo Shin comes over there and puts the pop on after the ball was delivered.
Got some protection, too, Dan.
He did. That time, he did. Baker was only rushing 3 there, too. Trying to keep the play in front of them, but Teagues helped him out again out on that same sideline where he dropped one earlier.
Trent Archie back stands at about the 32. Let's see what Williamson decides to do. They're trying to get Hickbottom back out there. Looked like he wanted to maybe change shoes, put on a punting shoe possibly. He was real late coming back out there. Not sure they're going to get this one off.
Coach is being very liberal with that play clock, aren't they?
Yeah,
or the refs, I should say.
Agree, yeah. See how Baker does on special teams here. They're a very well coached team.
End over end kick. Archie takes the line, driving to 35, up across midfield, up to the 43-yard line. I think it was like a 1-iron coming off his foot there.
Yeah. Wish I could say it was like my 1-iron.
Remember, you can follow us on Facebook all year long. Just search the UTV 44 High School Football Game of the Week. And brought to you by our friends at Budget Breaks.
So Hickbottom ran to the sideline to get his 1-iron, is what you're saying, right?
Over there to get the razor blade to knock that one on a low line drive down the field. A good field position again for Baker. Chappell. Quick out on the far side, able to get it to LaFleur. Correct that. That's off to Owens, and Owens has got a 1st down for the Hornets.
All he needed was that one block, and he got it. Picked up real good yardage there. You can take a look at the offensive guy, sets him up. This block coming up right there is all he needed. That gets him off to the race.
Coach Sumter upset over there on the far sidelines.
Well, he's got quite a bit to be upset about.
Chappell, same play except to the near side of the field, and Owens again to the 17-yard line.
Great hustle by Alex Cole to get over there and help out with the tackle. Right there, he's chasing him down, brings him to the ground.
Came a long way, didn't he?
He did. That's the kind of effort you got to have, but he needs to get his comrades going in that direction as well.
The 16-yard line, good for another 1st down.
If Williamson wants to know what controlled passing looks like, all they have to do is watch Baker on this drive. This is it.
Here's the clinic.
Yeah.
On field.
Chappell with the give to Walker, the big bruising fullback, and Walker inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line. 5'7", 243.
Yeah, he was trucking right there. He made a little stutter step there and got the motor going again and picked up real good positive.
Quick think as a defender, Vic, where do you hit 35?
Whatever's going to bring him down.
I tell you.
First and goal from the 6. Chappell gives it off to McMillan. Cuts it back to the inside, plows ahead.
He's close.
And now he's in for the touchdown.
There you go.
I tell you what, it's more in Chappell out there on this Baker team. They've got some athletes spread out, you know, and like you were talking about, you've been expecting this from this large high school, right? Big population. It's got to be some athletes over here.
You're right.
So Chappell is surrounded by some good players.
I agree. I think this is the difference you've seen, especially Chappell. You know, Mary G a couple of years ago, he just had to do it all. Right. He ran, he threw, and he definitely has more help personnel-wise around him.
Makes a difference.
Hagar stopped before that one.
You're going to have offsides on Williamson.
So that final fence there, I was told before the game, that's the end of the Baker property. So when you kick it good like you should, it ends up in the neighborhood.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense. They half the distance.
I think that's the
one on time down.
Smoke Rise neighborhood, big neighborhood right off of Airport Boulevard here that circles back here behind the school.
I was noticing these goalposts. That ought to keep them up at night. They're bright, fluorescent, Oregon orange look like.
I noticed those as soon as I walked in as well, Vic. They are.
Can't miss. They glow in the dark, I bet. You can turn the lights off and kick that.
They're glow sticks.
Hagar again, and he's got it good, and it's 28-0. Got a new feature we're introducing this year during each one of our games, and it's the Educator Spotlight, brought to you by our friends at Faulkner State Community College. And let's get this week's edition with Ashley Pope.
And Sergeant Watts, we see y'all out on the field every game, but tell me something that y'all do when there's not a football game for the school.
Well, number one, our program, our cadets in our program are the leaders for the school. Our motto is to our roaches on the crawl or whatever you call this, but it's been give the kids more self-confidence. They feel better about themselves. They carry themselves better, and that's what we want. So it's great to have the uniform.
And on a serious note, this past summer, you traveled to Normandy. Tell us really fast something that was really special about that.
Well, mainly was meeting the veterans, but we got to go to St. Mary Gleason, and we got to march in the D-Day parade, 70th anniversary. The last big hurrah for all these soldiers that fought in the war, and it just the kids were able to take what they learned in history class and put it to practical use. It was great.
Well, thank you so much. And I know that these kids that are in this program aren't only learning here in high school, but they take it on for the future.
They do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, great stuff, Ashley. Thank you so much.
Well, that's amazing that these kids got to be at the 70th anniversary of D-Day. You talk about
can't learn that part in the classroom.
Man, you know, you can stare at that book all you want. That's really, really remarkable.
Really cool stuff. Good job by Ashley bringing us that spotlight. We'll have those for you each and every week here on UTV 44.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too. So now down by 4 touchdowns. Hickbottom will try to get something going, and it's not going to happen here as he is wrapped up all the way back inside the 10. John Burnett again in there, the linebacker. You know, we talked a lot about Gildersleeve coming into this game, and he's been great, but Burnett, boy, he's had a solid game, Vic.
Yeah, right in the middle.
I mean, just reestablishing the line of scrimmage, 5 yards back behind the offense. Danny's just loving it. He's going to buy all these kids a nice soda pop after this game for certain.
Back at the 16-yard line. So bring up second at 14. Upshaw split to the bottom of the screen. Now a little pump fake. Hickbottom steps up. Pressure. He's right in the middle of the Hornets' nest, but is able to spin away. He's going to work hard to get out to the 25-yard line.
He was ushered out of the pocket by Reginald Jefferson, number 94. He just tried to get all he could and came Houdini there just for a second. Lost him in the action, and he come out of the dust.
He never looks flustered back there. He really
Tell
doesn't.
you what, he carries himself in a very mature way, for a guy that's not having the time of his life out there.
Yeah, like you were saying, he's just come accustomed to it, and just another day at the office for him. Hey, I'm getting harassed. I've got fires. Let me just put him out. He's got command of his huddle.
He's got command of his emotions, too.
No doubt. A lot better than I do, I can tell you that.
Williamson, talking about that, they won the Sportsmanship Award last year in the state of Alabama. Out to the near side and able to grab that one is Reggie Teagues, and he's going to have the first down for the Lions. But they were awarded with the Sportsmanship Award.
Very nice. And also, I know that Coach Sumter can stay a little sportsmanlike as Teagues catches the ball, extends the drive, and helps out his quarterback a little bit. And maybe, gives Reggie a little confidence himself. They're going to have to make some plays on the outside, Jim, to establish anything tonight.
Yeah, there haven't been a lot of big play chances at all for Williamson.
But there's been underneath things that they've had a shot at.
They approach the halfway point of quarter number 3. Gildersleeve coming on the blitz. They give it off and try to spin loose. Was Portlock, and he's up to the 36-yard line. Don't forget, next week here on our Game of the Week, we will see these Baker Hornets again, as now we'll see Portlock trying to work out some cramps.
Yeah.
We'll see these Baker Hornets again as they'll take on the Murphy Panthers.
Yeah, you get that cramp in the calf, you immediately start grabbing that toe to pull it back, try to stretch it out, because that muscle just wants to curl up, and it is not a good feeling. Not the worst thing, but not good.
It ranks.
Now, trust me, when you get that quad wrapping up, that big muscle.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, you go back to the fetal position crying for mommy. You want your bottle.
We'll have another heat timeout coming up here, probably after this play, I would guess. How about our crew working out there in the heat all day, setting up here in the afternoon? Hats off to our production crew.
I didn't have the heart to text Jared and say, is there air in the press box? Even though I was pretty curious about it. I thought he will say, what is...
There's Portlock.
Nope.
The Portlock out with the injury timeout. That is... Let me see if I can find it on the depth chart. Oh, it's Frederick Holmes.
There you go.
Coming in there.
Yeah, but our crew was out here. Good blocking up front there, finally.
Holmes playing linebacker, now jumping over here to fill in for Portlock.
You're right about our crew. Well before noon, and it's temperature in the mid-90s. Heat index well above 100, and they've got a few clouds, too. I mean, it was just sun beating down.
Not much of a breeze.
No, not much of anything except heat.
Under teased them.
Yeah, exactly.
But it did not rain.
Yeah. Holmes lost a couple on that one. Yeah, I had a function last night. I got in the car at 9:45, and the thermometer said 86 at 9:45. So we'll take a heat timeout here. 5:44 to go. Baker in control of this one as we open up the season here on UTV 44. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Lockett, Ashley Pope on the sideline. That's Cedric Sumter. His team down 28-0 right now. Trying to get something going. 2nd and 11 for the Lions. Kick bottom pressure. He's going to be wrapped up all the way back to the 29-yard line.
Wow.
Pressure came right up the middle. Looked like he was going to try to break free, but a handful of jerseys stopped him from...
You'd like to hope he could throw that away, but it's just harassed. Way too much there. Jailbreak on him.
Christopher Carter in there. And
another cramp going on there with one of the linemen.
I think the heat timeout now, or
just had it.
Yeah.
And what happens, guys, you go sit down at halftime and your muscles start to relax a little bit. Then you ask them to jump back up after the half.
That's what's happening here.
You know, it's just the body's like, I hear you, but nah.
We need a heat timeout after the heat timeout.
Sure. Or a halftime after the halftime.
Williamson's going to take a timeout here. Try to timeout, see if they can maybe get Portlock back in there.
Well, I'd like to see his play sheet for 3rd and Airport Boulevard. Yes, that's what he's got here.
Yeah,
he completes it. Is not even going to make it to 65.
It's here on Airport. It's about 3rd and 3 strip malls. I don't like their chances.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to thank Mullinax Ford.
Go see Willie Gaston there.
That's where the first down is.
Also, Millsaps and Associates. And also would like to thank Wigman's Ace Hardware for being a part of high school football here on UTV 44 this year. Week 1, we'll be here the next. So I guess since we got the extra one, we'll be here the next. This starts 15 in a row for us. 15 weeks in a row of high school football on Friday nights.
And still I can't get enough.
That's right.
And I'm sorry, it's not you guys. It's the football.
It's the game.
Yeah.
You get plenty of us.
Love of the game.
And we see Portlock still
trying to stretch it out there. You know, I still do those just at my house because I just don't want to get a cramp in my calf.
Yeah, well,
and Jim, I hadn't ran in years. You can tell, huh?
There's no need to leak the video.
3rd and
thanks, though.
35. I was wondering why that fence leaned at the side of your house there, Vic. 3rd and 35.
That's where he does them.
Pressure coming. And now they're just pinning their ears back and coming after him.
Yeah, they had that cobra from both ends just coming there. And they take a good look at Reginald Jefferson there, who harassed him earlier. This time he gets the hunt.
Christopher Williams just blows right through there.
They just met at the quarterback.
Finally hit bottom.
He's down.
Yeah. I mean, they're just not providing him with any protection at all. It was almost a matter of time, Jim, wasn't it?
Oh, he's just been getting it all night long. And
oh, goodness. I hope it's nothing. Oh, man. Oh, what this young guy is.
Yeah, you don't want to see him go down for sure. He's certainly the heartbeat, not only the offense, I think the defense. And he's actually, you've been pointing out, been the best defense that they could actually generate. Is he keeping the football?
Yep. Yep. Well, you know, we talked about how he kept bouncing back up. And this time he does not bounce back up, so that sounds like trouble.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get an update. We'll take a timeout. It's 28-0 Baker. 4 to go in the 3rd. Jeremy Hickbottom. Oh, they just saw another banged up member of the Lions there. Portlock to punt. Archie will stand.
Hope it's not too serious.
The Williamson 45. Archie wants to return every one. And he'll get just there. Good coverage by the Lions. Special teams there. Brought down by Curtis Carson.
And nice job on the coverage.
More folks bringing high school football. If you're around, stop in and see these folks. If you happen to be there, tell them that you enjoy high school football on Friday nights, including the orthopedic group. Vance Collision. Hopefully you're not there because of the same. Hopefully you're not going to the orthopedic group because of a collision.
Thinking the same thing. If you visit them in the same day, you got troubles.
And Greer's. Give to Ricky Brown up the right side, and Brown all the way inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, they created an alley for him, and he just went down there and ran through there like it was dark.
That's still one of the alleys that they were creating in the first period. Look at that.
Yeah, just run right off the block of his fullback. Just hit it right on through there. Not contested till he's 15 yards down the field.
You're right.
In terms of contact.
27 yards for Brown on that one. Chappell gives that one off to Terrence Beard.
Well, this is one of those games. Chapel is, you know, he's got some players around him here, we noticed. And also, you know, he's going to be physical enough in some of the games that are going to be tighter.
Sure.
There's really no reason to, right?
Yeah, I'd save him too.
Yeah. Bring him
on the sideline right now.
Let him get a breather. You know you may need your backup at some point in the year. Why not just let him get some work here?
Yep.
Holden Burden replaces him. Walker bangs ahead inside the 10. Burden had that nice catch to start the game from a tight end spot.
One-handed catch down the middle, and if Chapel doesn't overthrow him, which he really did, even though Burden made the catch, that would have been a walk-in touchdown.
Number 35, Matthew Walker rolled his way for the first down. That's the first and goal. The ball at about the 7-yard line.
Move it down to the 7, and that'll bring up first and goal for Baker. McMillan wrapped up first.
So a guy again going both ways, Jim.
Yep. Portlock came over to make the stop.
Yeah, a little stretch play, and they're hoping they can plant the left foot and cut it back, or if you can get to the corner. Portlock had an opportunity earlier in the game where he made a similar play, did not make the tackle. This one he brings him down.
Burden, 6'3", 162. Play action pass. Fires it into the end zone. Touchdown.
Nice pass.
Able to hit Christopher Len.
Nice pass. Yeah, Baker's got some talent, Jim, and not just at 1 or 2 positions. I'm seeing a good spread here. It's a nice pass to him right there.
Chapel be upset he didn't get to throw that pass.
Hopefully he's just happy for his teammate.
I'm sure he is. Hagar coming on to try the PAT. He's been perfect thus far tonight. And he'll stay that way, and it's 35-0. Baker over Williamson. We had our trivia question earlier talking about what team has the highest winning percentage. You had to be in at least 10 games to qualify. You had a good guess. You said Sweetwater, Dan Brennan. Vic Lockett's saying Auburn. He's been saying Auburn. That's who he thinks it is. How about this? This surprise you?
Wow.
Spanish Fort Toros, 22-3, highest winning percentage at 88.8.
Makes a lot of sense. We've seen a lot of those 22.
We have, and so.
And they've got it going. Now they can step into a higher level of competition. Let's see where they are this year.
You know, we did the Spanish Fort Daphne game last year, and of course it was nationally televised 2 years ago before that. Now it's a region game. We'll be there this year. I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, we've got some quality football.
How about Spanish Fort Blunt
around here?
That's going to be a fun game. Next week, Murphy Baker.
I think the only thing that Spanish Fort lost from last year was somebody out of the trombone section. They're fine.
We're playing Stanhope Elmore tomorrow night. A game you can see right here on UTV 44. Also have high school football games from around the state on Thursday night on UTV 44 this year. Braxton Ackridge sends this one to the far side, and Portlock will take it at the 14. Shows off some of that speed. And Portlock to the 35-yard line.
Checking in, texting in. Country star Ashton Shepard. Listening up in Leroy, watching up in Leroy.
Awesome.
Yeah. And her little baby girl, who for some reason calls me Mr. Dwayne. We're not sure why.
Calls you Mr.
Dwayne.
Dwayne, okay.
So she's saying right now, Mama, listen, it's Mr. Dwayne.
4 plays, 45 yards, 2 minutes and a tick.
They had to change quarterbacks. Is it Portlock, or are they going to run the box?
We get get a timeout called for here with 2:27 left in the third. The Aaron family, not the ones in op. They're not watching tonight, but Melissa and Emily, wife and daughter of our statistician Brian, they're watching the game tonight. They love when football season gets here because the old man's out of the house every Friday night for 15 straight weeks.
It's their opportunity to see so little of their father. And you can imagine the way they look forward to that.
2.5 to go in the third.
They're just going to run the box offense now that their quarterback is out.
Yep. Block a little bit. Point of attack.
Portluck. And yeah, and even if he's feeling better, just no reason to bring him back in tonight.
No, I agree with that all the way. And by the way, another cramp down on the field. We'll get back to that.
Advanced Collision, our player of the game, our Tank Brown Award. We will. Remember when Tank answered the phone on the game during the game the one time?
Well, you know, that's a legendary thing y'all have talked about. And I laugh about that all the time.
We will.
Tank with something now.
We will have 3 players for you to choose from at the end of tonight's game, and then you can go on local15tv.com and vote for them, and then we'll feature them next week at halftime.
You know, his cousin Michael Brown is a good friend of mine. He's a minister down on DIP, and a lot like Tank. Loves football. Strong opinions.
Right.
I don't know if he answers his phone in the middle of his preaching.
Well, I could see if I answered my phone during the broadcast, that would be the one time Jared would be up here away from the truck.
The best part was it. Hello. Hello.
That was great.
Dan looked there like, because we heard it through our heads. Like,
what's going on?
Dan's like, Mike. He's like,
it could have been the president calling though.
Coach, I know you can't answer during the game.
You're watching right now?
That was a great one. He was as much fun after the games, you know, talking football away from the field.
Portland slips one tackle.
Wow.
Dances free and now cuts it up the other side. He's got one man to beat at an angle. And he'll get it all the way down to the 32. And we see that speed we've talking about as we've got some substitutions in for Baker, but that's the first time we've really seen the explosiveness tonight.
Yeah, I haven't seen him get loose. And this kid is playing a lot both ways. He's been fighting some cramps, so
33 yards here.
When you talk about that speed, I'm looking at this. They loosen it right there, contort his body, and go back against the grain. You know, they need to kind of incorporate this into their regular offense a couple of times.
He was on our pregame show. You know, the first thing I noticed about that young man, Vic?
What's that?
Skinny ankles.
You starting to look at ankles now. I've created a fetish with this guy.
Yeah. Sure. Back away from all this as quick as I can.
It's Stanley.
Don't say on the air.
Stanley Robinson back. He'll come in and spell Portlock for a play or two. And now 2nd and 12 after the loss of a couple. Williamson just trying to get out of this, and there's Hickbottom's jersey. Let's go down to Ashley Pope.
Hey guys, just a little bit of an update on the Williamson quarterback. He is still out of this game. It looks like his ankle is taped. He is on the sidelines. And also number 31 is also beside him on the sidelines with a knee brace all the way up the leg with ice on the knee.
That was Jeffrey Hickbottom. Jeremy is the one, the quarterback who's banged up, but Jeffrey Hickbottom is the one who we saw get hurt earlier in the contest. He was the linebacker.
Yeah, pads are off.
There. When you got ice and the shoulder pads off, that kind of a for sure sign that you're done for the night, at the say for the very least. Let's hope those guys get able to get better and get back in practice. So
yeah, I hope that's just a mild sprain for Hickbottom, and he's going to get after it. But like we were saying, boy, Williamson, they open up here tonight on the road at Baker, then they go at Blunt next week, and then you go at Jackson to open your season. That is a tough 3-game stretch.
Love to do a game at Jackson sometime, huh?
I want to go up there. I think that would be fun, you know. And now you
can shoot a deer on the way back and breakfast
during the game.
But of course, they're not deer in the air when you guys choppers land up there. These are for the people that are driving.
I'll tell you what, Vic. I drove from Baldwin County to here at Baker today. There was no chopper involved to.
I thought you landed at Mobile Air over here and just drove over, jogged over, knowing you.
Got the flight from Pensacola to Atlanta back to Mobile. It was quicker than Airport Boulevard.
He lives a very bitter life, people. His name is Jim Cox.
29 seconds to go here in the third. Robinson stays at quarterback. Gives it off the near side and trying to turn the corner and being forced out of bounds. Frederick Holmes, who's also going both ways, playing linebacker, now in. Working some tailback here.
Got a key block coming up right about there to spring in there. I don't know if it was a block in the back, but the refs don't think so I'm going to agree with them.
Block on the side of the back, near the back over toward the side. It was close. It was right there.
Just about right there.
We are through 3. This one, Baker, 12 minutes away from their first ever school victory over Williamson. It's 35-0, and we've got the fourth quarter coming up right after this. Ready to start the fourth quarter. Jim Cox, Dan Brennan, Vic Blockett, Ashley Pope on the sideline. Jared Kihos in the truck doing it for us tonight. Brian Aaron, our statistician, and our entire crew here to open up the high school football season. Port Luck back in the game here and down inside the 10. We got folks watching all over, and on a special low down at Orange Beach. Chris Haley checking out the high school football game. His son plays at Bayside, but when there's a scheduling conflict, Chris DVRs our game of the week, then he comes home and watches our game of the week after he gets home watching his son Patrick's game. Big high school football fan.
He must love it.
And he stays up late if he's watching after a game.
He does.
I'm going home after this game. I'm DVRing it. I'm going to grade Vic Blockett's performance. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Well, I can tell you now, that won't be a pretty thing to get.
Portlock down inside the 10.
I am in pre-game form, practice, 2-a-day form. How about that?
Y'all watching Hard Knocks? Y'all digging Hard Knocks?
Oh,
Y'all
I love it.
Knocks?
You know I do.
I'm not feeling this season as much.
Well, Brian Cox is making it for me.
I like him.
Yeah, he is.
I would not want him to be my coach.
I would not want him coming at me when I had the football in my hands back in the day. Julio Jones being featured, of course, on there with Atlanta, and he looks like he's back in tip-top shape.
Yep.
Robinson stood up the line of scrimmage and driven back.
Yeah, necktie and everything.
Lots of substitutions in there for Baker.
Take a look at it here as he tries to cut it up in there, and he got him right around the neck there. Big 66.
Nathan Allen with the stop.
Says hello there.
Third down.
You know, these guys, second team, they've been practicing the heat like everybody else.
Hey, they'd love to get an opportunity. I remember those days myself. Put me in, coach. We got this one. I won't lose it.
Direct snap to the near side and cutting it back inside the 5. That was Teagues.
You know, I'm really digging this offense here for Williamson. I mean, I think they need to do this a little bit to change some things up. Then it's simpler to block. You know, just hey.
This line is probably built more as a run line than they are.
Correct.
Backpedaling.
Yeah, yeah. You know, William not backpedaling. He makes that. They make that one step and then just hit another helmet.
Down to the 1. It's 1st and goal, and Williamson able to get in for the touchdown is Reggie Teagues. Able to get in to spoil the shutout for Baker.
Yeah, Danny Smith's probably not happy about losing that goose egg, but he knows in the long run it's going to pay off by getting some of these young guys ready, because you may have to call upon them.
He's also getting the first team that played very well. A little rest, a little breather. It's
well
going to be
deserved.
A long season. We talked about that here. It's August 22nd, and this is the first game of the year, pushed up an extra week.
Going to go for 2. The low snap. Teagues and lost the football, and it's still loose. And
needless to say, no good.
The PAT. You know, we were telling Williamson stories earlier talking about Bobby Parrish. I remember Bobby Parrish. Williamson had a long history of kicking problems. They really just never had a kicker, and Bobby got up at the coach's can't remember if it was a fish fry back then or whatever, and he was all excited talking about the new kicker that had got on his team in Williamson, and somebody finally asked him what his name was, and he said, "Go for two." He said, "We're not even going to try to kick it anymore." Here's our Scholastic Athlete of the Week. We've talked about him all night long. Adrian Portlock, a junior, 3.5 GPA, 18 on the ACT, so he's already qualified for college, and his parents told him all. Since he was a young man, he was telling us how important this classroom has to come before the football field. See his offers there, and there's that young man. He's going to kick off, it looks like, as well. He was a delight to talk to.
He was, and I don't think we've seen the best of him tonight because, again, the blocking has been a little suspect for his team on offense.
Here's our Scholastic Athlete of the Week from Baker, Brady Glover, senior, 4.9 on the GPA, 18 ACT. Volleyball, tennis, and cross country. So going to go to Mississippi State, Southern Miss, or where's the other one? Where's the other one? Auburn. That's right, Vic. That's where she was.
I wasn't telling you. It's what you don't say, Dan has taught me.
There's my GPA times 2. I want to congratulate that kid. 4.9.
I guess now, you know, we got 7A football. You got 5.0 scales as well.
I guess it's moved up.
Yeah.
Portlock with the kick. Ricky Brown will take it at the 10 for Baker, and Brown with a big head of steam to the 36-yard line.
That's the way you run a kickoff back.
Dwan James, north and south, and with a lot of speed, right?
That's right. You hit it up in there. You got one move, and that's it. That's what those coaches used to tell David Palmer when I was at Alabama.
David Palmer had 3 moves inside the 1 move, though.
Yeah, but they would say just that 1 and 3.
Baker heads back out here. But, you know, we came out last year, first time we did a Baker game. Came out and we were just blown away by the enthusiasm they had and everything else, and they still got it here on a hot August night.
Yeah, and that was a tough loss to Davidson, as you remember.
Yep. Verdon has to chase this errant snap back. And he'll get across the 25, but a loss on the play. It's like you kind of saw there's that scoring drive. 8 plays, 65 yards to Vic's point. Kept the ball, just kept rolling along there, and Teagues goes in for the touchdown. But you kind of saw, Baker they were in more games. The games they lost were close. I mean, they lost a bunch of games by less than 7 points last year.
Yeah.
And it's coming. It is turned, and the foundation has been cast out here.
I think more the very good athletes out here are staying. They're not looking to find another place for a football career.
Right.
And that's going to make a big difference. They're like, we can win right here at Baker.
Huge feeder pattern. I mean, huge feeder pattern to draw kids in.
Yeah, they're going to have enough players. They're going to have enough athletes for them to stay in the district, get coached up. They can win right here.
The 8.5 is Holden Verdon again. He replaced Bert Chappell, who had a solid outing tonight, leading the offense for Baker.
You know, if you play by the rules, you're always going to have cycles of talent. Up, down a little bit, in the middle.
Yep.
But the numbers are on Baker's side.
Sure.
Right? 2,700 students, something like that.
Probability goes up.
Yeah, sure.
And Verdon wants to air it out. Throws that one just over the head of his intended receiver. Straight and long. You know, and the other thing, too, is it's, you know, so Baker had such a long, such a long 30-year stretch where they just weren't good. There's no other way to say it. But these kids that are seniors now, they weren't a part of that. So it's been turning since Coach French came here. Yeah. So now all they know is, hey, we're been pretty good.
We're pretty good, right?
And now we get a chance to be really good.
Yeah.
The expectation level is going up.
And there's a couple of seniors right there in Gildersleeve, who we talked to in the pregame, and of course Chappell. And you can see today.
Time out.
That was a photo opportunity right there, too, right?
Yeah, Chappell's got his boots off, and he's just having a good time now.
You're in good shape when you're getting photo ops with 7:52 to go in the game.
Danny Smith was talking about Gildersleeve, and he said the first time he saw him out here at Baker, says a PE class, and they're playing flag football. And the kids are just playing flag football, whatever. You're not supposed to hit anybody, tackle anybody. And the kid catches a pass, and Gildersleeve just lights the kid up.
We saw, I mean, he could.
And Danny Smith comes over to him and says, there is no way you can do that. Don't ever do that again. I'll see you at the football field on Monday. And he became a football player.
Well, that's the thing they've got to do. You got to do in-house recruiting. You know, hang around in the PE classes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now
just
kids
walk
want to
the
play.
halls.
They want to play.
Yeah. Say, hey, why are you not in practice?
I think our friends, Brian Aaron's Rental. Oh, no, it's just Aaron's Rental, right? Just Aaron's Rental. Yeah, they're sponsor of our high school football.
Yeah, don't run off the sponsors in week 1 there.
Budget breaks. Faulkner State Community College. The chicken salad chick, our food sponsor here. How was the chicken salad?
As healthy as I go, Jim.
That's right.
They've got very good chicken salad. I love it.
Kihas was eating that stuff like he's a Viking today before the game. I mean, it was just things flying like a weed eater going off. It was just.
Well, he's been here since 8 a.m., so
yeah, I know,
cut him a little slack.
I mean,
nice punt.
Kick. And speaking of lighting someone up when you're not supposed to.
Wow. That looks like PE right there. Kids playing without referees or rules. And I'm not going to say he's a bit early. I'm going to say he's a day early on that one.
Juwan Gaynor, he's a starting cornerback. He should have a little better understanding of the rules at this point. It was Kelvin Blackman.
Kelvin saying, what'd I ever do to you? But look at, it's right to the top. He's talking to the CEO there. That's not a position coach. That's Jack French himself. Not happy at all. I mean, that's, first of all, you really get somebody hurt. Second of all, terrible fundamentals.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Sportsmanship at all. And he's getting that corrected.
Either bad judgment or bad sportsmanship. I don't know which. I'm not inside the kid's mind, but man.
First game. They'll get all that stuff cleaned up.
Maybe a little extra at practice for that because of that, Vic?
No, that was aggressive, so he's going to like that. Just not at that point.
And remind you, next week, Murphy Baker, we're back at Ladd. I said back at Ladd, back there for the first time this year.
I love it. Yeah, I see Dan has Ladd as his screensaver, so.
Yeah, I do.
He's got an affinity, too, to the big old gray house.
We're pretty excited. You know, 95 KSJ, we're big supporters of the Jags. Let's see what's going on here.
Penalty. Replay, 4th down.
Yeah. Kick it again.
And our sister station at Clear Channel now will be carrying the Jags Light Mix 99.9 on a stronger signal than they've ever been on before. I don't think that's even debatable.
Yeah, a little shot there.
Yeah, I don't know that you had to announce that, Vic. Good Lord. You're like the opposite of a wingman, whatever it would be.
But, yeah, that's going to be great news for the Jags. And
you might have a sellout against Mississippi State. There's a chance there.
I'm pretty certain. I thought I heard that it was a sellout.
One side is completely sold out, the west side. It's just exciting stuff.
Yeah,
it really is.
SEC football in Mobile.
Amazing.
At Ladd.
Amazing.
Get the call here. Not sure why it wasn't enough for Williamson. Could have taken it and the yardage, and
that's what I thought they normally would do.
Right,
get across the 50.
I was going to make them punt again. I don't
feel confident about their punt return or something.
I think they're finally going to just mark it off here from the spot of the foul and
take the ball.
Yeah.
Let Baker go on defense.
Okay, that was
not sure what caused all the confusion.
Someone changed their mind.
Well, they took their time doing it.
Portland. the middle. He'll have another Williamson first down and breaks a tackle. And here's the speed inside the 20, 10, touchdown Lions. 54 yards for Adrian Portlock.
Stay with it, all through some tackles. And like Jim said, nobody's going to catch him once he got behind everyone.
Another cramp at the end, too.
Yeah, right there, he breaks tackles right there, just keeps his legs driving, spinning, bobbing, and weaving, and man, he's gone now.
He gives out right at the end.
He's trying to battle through it. He's only played offense, defense, been on special teams.
And he actually brought us some water up here. You guys didn't see it.
I'll tell you one thing. This kid's a battler.
Smart as well.
Yep, he is. He's got to go in that select 3 for your player of the game.
He is. You can pencil him in there for sure.
So you see also the drop-off in the number 1s and number 2s on Baker's defense.
I'm not sure the number 1s would have caught him when he got the gap, though.
Yeah.
He's going to run away from a lot of guys this year.
For the Lions, depending on the health of Hickbottom, have got something to build off with some of the things they've been able to do here in the second half.
Well, conversely, you guys were talking about the numbers of players Baker have. You look over on the sideline of Williamson.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
No.
Get a good look here.
Be a third.
Coming right at you. Yeah, and that's a trouble. And, you know, it's when you have lack of depth, I mean, it hurts you in the game, but then the cumulative effect all throughout the season is when, you know, you get to week 5 or 6, and it's just, I mean, you are just walking wounded.
You're halfway through.
Right.
And not to mention, you guys got smart and added a 7-8 to make it tough, you know.
True.
But the band plays on.
Yes, they do it. Williamson, they're bound to.
Yes.
Mighty, mighty Lions.
Out of Maysville.
Trying to bounce this one to the outside. Frederick Holmes nowhere to go there, so it'll stay 35-12 with 7.5 left. We're open the season here. High school football's back, and it's here on UTV 44. Left in week 1 of the high school football season on UTV 44. Williamson with a couple of touchdowns here in the 4th quarter. Baker getting some extra kids some playing time this evening. And Portlock not going to kick this one.
If Williamson had some extra kids, they'd get them in there. They don't have much back there.
Yeah, their extras are out there.
Around the 11-yard line.
You know, you want to get some work done here, but also you just want to make sure nobody gets hurt from this point on. You know, I don't know. You can't really play cautiously, right, Vic? I mean,
yeah, you got to stay aggressive in your play, but you don't have to call aggressive play.
Got it.
Leave it to
Jalen
coaches to kind of ratchet it down.
Jalen Crenshaw there with the return out to the 36. You kind of see the plays coming a little bit slower here. Baker happy to use a bunch of time up, but valuable time for Holden Burden. I mean, this is invaluable experience that he's picking up.
And he's making the best of his opportunity.
Obviously, a pretty good.
Not right there, though.
Drop the football.
Pretty good.
Can't take your eye off of it. First things first.
If Williamson has
Get
this.
The snap.
And they do. First turnover of the game tonight.
Well, miscommunication with the center. Burden was looking the other way when the ball came back.
And then the man in motion was right there as well.
Yeah, you gotta starts with him catching the snap here. He saw his guy. He wanted to hand it to him or either fake it to him, but can't take your eye off the football.
Yeah, I think he was looking for the man in motion coming to hand it off to him.
Yeah, Randy Moss looks the football in, as great as he is. Fundamental that is through and through each level. Or should I say A.J. Green looks every pass in.
That's good. You know, you think about everything running through that kid's head out there. You know, he's in the shotgun. He's got the receiver in motion coming his way, and he's under the bright lights, playing QB.
to keep this one. Stanley Robinson up the sidelines, walks a tightrope before stepping out of bounds at the 20, but it'll be good for a Williamson first down.
Number 6, Stanley Robinson Jr. picks up first down yards for the Lions. First down at the Baker 40-yard line.
Just one tick more than 7 minutes here. Robinson again in at quarterback. They really changed things up when Jeremy Hickbottom got hurt in the third quarter. Robinson with the handoff. Dwan James. Now, more new, fresh, clean jerseys coming in for Baker here. You know, when you got 125, 130 kids, you got to do a lot of substitute and try to get as many in on Friday as you can.
You can make wholesale changes at its best, huh?
You'll be curious, looking at 7A, curious too to see, you know, we got Caleb Ross, new coach at McGill, got new coach at Murphy, you got Mike Dean back at Mary G, some new faces.
Is this Dean's second year or first year?
First year back. First back there.
Robinson to James, and James right up the middle, and he's in for the touchdown.
Yeah, they had the blitz on, and he just ran right by him. They didn't even locate the ball carrier. Good give by the quarterback, too.
We didn't know we were going to have a bunch of Williamson highlights here in the second half, but we have.
And I tell you, when you read the paper tomorrow, you're going to think, oh, that game was close. Baker pulled away.
More injuries.
Yeah, this is exactly what you were trying to avoid here. You were talking about earlier. You do not want to get anybody injured at this junction in the game.
One of the bigs up front.
Yeah, Morgan Taylor. So he's going to be
Looks
okay.
like it's a cramp. Thank God he's okay and jogging off.
And Dwan James has come in and played well at running back for the Lions tonight. The PAT coming up here.
Heat timeout.
We'll take a heat timeout before the PAT.
Well, you look at 7A, so who's it going to be? You know, McGill, Murphy maybe bouncing back a little bit. Fairhope's been solid.
I think Foley's a team.
Todd likes his team down in Foley.
You got Baker, Davidson, you got Fred Riley.
Yep.
Theodore, an improved team. Bryant, an improved team. So it's even the teams that, you know, are going to end up at the bottom of the standings are much better.
Yeah, well, we don't know who they're going to be, but
right.
It's getting a little more gray down there, and those teams are competing pretty well. It'll be interesting to see what how Riley bounces back. Davidson with one of the poorer seasons.
Well, I can assure you
They've
that
had in a
guy
while.
spent all summer thinking about it.
All winter,
I know
too.
him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, he did have a little longer winter than normal.
Right.
Usually in the playoffs deep.
Robinson going to be hit and dropped on the PAT all the way back to the 30. That's a dead ball. But that young man should run it in anyway.
Well, he doesn't know, so yeah, let the refs decide.
That is.
But they've already made a decision.
That's Christopher Carter, I believe. There's 266s on the roster, and he looks like he's more 230 than 202, I would say.
He is.
So that's Christopher Carter.
And anytime they 66 get an opportunity to carry the football, carry it home.
He ran so hard that the tape came off his
Wrist.
hands and wrists. Yeah. Ripped it right off. The force of the wind.
And then they just played the Price is Right sound effect. That was just...
That's deflating, isn't it?
That's right.
Danny Smith saying, hey, look. Quick whistle. French has seen it all. He tells Danny, we'll fight another battle another day.
And we do have a flag on the play. Back at the goal line.
Yeah, Baker's still celebrating, and the coach is trying to get somebody on the field, at least one of the fences, offense or defense.
Defensive holding.
So none of it counted. None of it counted at all.
Well, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Fun for that young man, too, 6'6".
We're talking about 7A. Just how about the grind? 9 region games.
Man.
I mean, that is...
I like that. Quality, good on good.
At the highest level with some of the best and fastest going at it week in, week out.
Get rid of the Toledos and small schools off the schedule. Let's play ball.
You're talking, you're moving up to college here.
Like the analogy.
Like Utah? You don't want Utah in there, baby?
There's one team I'm not going to say. We're not talking about Northwestern this time.
Hey, believe me, Vic, if I'd have had a shot to get into Northwestern, I'd have been there. Like
I know you turned them down.
Oh, yeah. That's...
Hey, community college worked out just fine.
Bill Gates didn't go to college.
We're all proud
Cox
of
didn't go.
That was a long way to get to.
Yeah. Delay.
Wow.
Dead ball. On the offense. Replay the down after 5 yards.
All right.
So it was 35-0, and Williamson has put 3 touchdowns on the board here.
In the Bobby Parrish tradition, no PATs.
Go for 2. Robinson tried to cut it inside, and
For a second, I thought he was going to pull it up and pass it, but no one was out in the route, so.
Little jump pass.
Yeah, something.
the longest PAT in
High school
football attempt will now wrap up here. 5:54 to go.
It's one of the, you start looking at the scoreboard Friday night when you get home and you start assessing the teams and trying to figure out, okay, who's for real.
When we have that midnight conference call, the 3 of us, that we get on and talk about the games.
That'd be the one. But you do, and it's interesting.
With a Coca-Cola?
We're so early diet. I'm always looking, health-wise. But it's so interesting when you start to get, and especially when a team that you weren't banking on was going to be somebody, and suddenly maybe they had a coaching change or a change in philosophy, or they've got a young kid who's emerged. It's fun, and you really start to figure some things out in October.
Yeah. And I think Coach French is getting a little too close for comfort. He just wants to get his quarterback in here who's not going to turn the ball over. And
It's probably on the hands team here.
Yeah.
For an onside kick.
True. Yeah.
And I imagine he wants to be up front there where he can get a block.
Up. Going far side is McMillan up the sidelines. Will the sophomore make it? He's going to be pulled out of bounds inside the 20. Trey McMillan, who's had a great night here. Wow. Returning kicks, and also, but when the kick went down that far sideline, they had the hands team over there, so they had the wall already set up for him because everybody was already on that side of the field.
But I don't know how he escaped here. Okay, he just was never really confronted by Williamson. He was in the middle of his own pack.
And number 5 just saves a touchdown there, almost a horse collar. But you do that rather than just give the touchdown.
Well, that was great hustle. I can tell you that.
No doubt.
Antonio Bolden.
Worth hearing his name.
Great hustle play by Bolden.
That's the sort of things, Williamson is going to have to build on. Show the rest of the team this is how you play.
They'll keep holding in there. And they'll stay out of the shotgun. They'll hand this one right off Ricky Brown. to the 15-yard line.
I think he ran into his own man there. We need to credit him with that tackle there, matter of fact, number 11.
And we talked about the 6A and the 7A, 6A, 5A, 4A. Of course, you got UMS ranked number 2. You've got that. You just always come from down here. UMS going to be Thomasville. Who's going to be the one? And the Bulldogs look like they're going to be very strong again this year.
Jerry Curtis was saying Andalusia's going to be better than they've been at some time. So
it's Terrence Beard
with that inside T.
Inside 10 down to about the 8-yard line. So he's throwing it short, not throwing it 2 for the
That's just power football right there.
3rd down and a couple. Brown and Beard in the backfield.
Running right again.
They'll give it off to Beard. Beard trying to get to the goal line, and he does for the touchdown.
Keeps his legs driving, just runs right on through the tackle there.
Beard makes it 41-18.
I don't think he's bothered by any cramps. Look a little tired there as he goes away. He's like, I've done a day's work here. Look at him here. They got him wrapped up there. He just keeps his legs driving. That's how you coach a running back, and you tell him, keep those legs driving, good things will happen.
Football came out there right at the, the goal line.
Right at the line.
I think he had broken the plane. He was going to do it then or the next play, you kind of feel like.
Hagar on. 6 for 6 for him tonight. It's 42-18.
Yeah, Brian anxious to get over there and do those stats. His fingers are cramping up over there with these
The stats are going
numbers.
to, and I think they're going to tell not the complete story on the game. You were talking about
exactly.
that. Williamson has been able to rebound and do some things offensively. Mostly
with the second team's out.
Yeah. Now at the same time, Hickbottom's been out of the game at quarterback. But they've done what they've done against the Baker second stringers. And but there's
one of the injured
Williamson. That's there's Hickbottom standing. Yeah.
It looks like he's moving around a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot better than earlier.
Yeah, I think it does look better, and maybe he'll get back to practice this week.
It's been most of the Baker drives tonight. They've just been a handful of plays or less, and all resulting in touchdowns.
Yep.
Wait for Braxton Ackridge to kick off. Again, Baker did not make the playoffs last year. 6-4. We're in the playoffs 2 years ago. And hoping to get back here this year.
Well, that top edge, at least the preseason, as you would see, the top edge of 6A is pretty interesting, isn't it?
And top edge of 6, 7, I think all of them right now.
Spanish Fort, Daphne.
Blunt in there,
Saraland.
rated as well. Saraland.
Good football.
Trying to find a way to work free, and Calvin Blackman really not very far to go. Yeah, it'll be, I think Spanish Fort, that's a lot of people are wondering about that. Okay, you've been so dominant in 5A, and now you're going to 6A, and you know they're going to be very good again. I mean, they're going to be very, very good, but you just wonder about, I think the ball came loose, and they're going to say Baker fell on it.
Wow. Can it get any worse for Weiss? Their quarterback's been injured. Turned the ball over now in the end of the game.
But going back to that, just the week in, week out, the grind, going against teams that are deeper, that you're going to be in more games later in the games.
Yeah. Here's a replay there. Let's see what happened. Oh, yeah. Yep. Ball out.
Totally knocked out, and that was... So, that was Marion Williams, number 9. Not to be confused with his younger brother, Darian Williams, number 9. On the Baker roster.
The other brother, Darryl?
They've taken a timeout now on the Baker side to try to assess exactly what they want to do in this final 4:19.
Well, I tell you guys, what's so most intriguing to me about this year coming up, the transition at McGill. which we've known that to be a continuous powerhouse. Is that going to continue?
Well, and I think also, too, you got a head coach who is now the offensive guru, where we've seen it's been the head coach that's the defensive guru, and then you bring Ricky Chancery out of retirement to become your defensive coordinator again.
McGill?
Not a bad guy to have sitting on the sidelines,
Wow. Yeah. Just in the bullpen.
Yeah.
So, Dan, you're not seeing any drop-off there?
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say that there almost would have to be drop-off, but I really don't know talent-wise where they are. I was trying to get an assessment from Coach Curtis about that today. They played in a Jamboree game last night against UMS Wright.
I saw some highlights. I did see one athlete. I don't know who he is, but he looked like he had some moves.
Edo Smith, former McGill running back, was the leading rusher in the Southern Miss scrimmage this week. He was the leading rusher.
Wow.
Number 11, Darius Bracey, in quarterback for the Hornets.
So it looks like Edo will be getting some playing time as a true freshman, huh? Yeah, Southern Miss, they'll be coming to Tuscaloosa for a visit.
Down inside 4 minutes. Now we've got Crenshaw in at quarterback. It's Jalen Crenshaw.
When I was there, Brett Favre got out of the car accident and came right on over to the field and beat us in Tuscaloosa. No, sorry, Birmingham. Legion Field.
Saw them that same September at Georgia, and the only way they lost that game was a late field goal attempt that hit the upright, or they would have beaten Alabama and Georgia in September after he'd been in a terrible accident.
Crenshaw scrambling to the near side, puts on the brakes and cuts it back. Then he took a big lick inside the 10. As we're approaching 3 minutes. Yeah, it'll be just so many storylines. We talked about in the pregame show, so many storylines to see how they start to play out here in the early parts of the season.
Well, you guys have convinced me. 7-8, I think, is going to be a good thing. And if we can get goods on goods more often, I'm for that.
Yep. It's, as it was about to happen, I talked to coaches who were on both sides of the fence, but more actually seemed to be in favor of it.
Yeah, I know. I talked to Fred Riley, and he was very much in favor of it. He thought it was a great thing. And of course, the trickle-down effect all the way affected schools all the way, because in some of the 2A and 3A, you had huge gaps between the biggest school and the smallest school. And even like in 6A, like Daphne's perennially one of the smaller schools in 6A.
Especially after the Spanish Fort split off.
Right. And so that, just something had to be done. Crenshaw trying to get to the edge. Still trying.
Using to go down.
He wrapped up there inside the 15 as we're
at the 2-minute mark.
Yep.
Remember, we'd be at Ladd Stadium, and it would always be a big night. We did a lot of games at Ladd early on. One of the biggest nights of the year is when that American flag in the southeast corner of the stadium would begin to blow to the south. You had the first night with a northerly wind, right?
Right.
And suddenly it was like, hey, I like this. That would usually be middle of October or later.
Right. Cool weather.
Yep. Cool weather coming.
Making its way in. Some of us not a fan.
The guy that's from the north that brings the weather down here.
Connect the dots. Connect the dots there.
You're fleeing it correctly.
That's right. So it's 4th and goal here. Baker just trying to use as much time as they can. Crenshaw with the give inside, and they won't score a touchdown. And I think that's probably just okay with the Baker staff.
And that should be it. Oh, the clock stopped.
And Williamson will get the ball back here. I think, probably what we expected. kind of the final score type idea coming into tonight's game?
To be honest, I thought Williamson would put up a better fight. I thought, what I've been hearing, some of the athleticism would have came out and the challenge would have been greater, but certainly not happened. Still got a lot of work to do over there in Maysville to get this team and all this talent going together.
I think that the athleticism might have shown if you got a little blocking up front, Vic. I mean, they just lost the battle at the line of scrimmage from the get-go, and
the best football teams are built from the trenches out, and any coach will tell you that.
The better line of scrimmage tonight definitely was the Baker Hornet.
And it was established
right away.
Right away. And
5 yards behind Williamson. That's where it was established.
Give out to about the 17-yard line. I think Williamson, the big thing they're going to have this year, I think that depth is going to be such a challenge. It's a small roster. And that is going to be a challenge for them all season long. Hand off back to Dwan James.
That's the final seconds there.
That will do it. So Baker, it's their first ever win in school history.
Against Williamson.
They've lost all 4 times they played, and now they're able to get the win. First time in school history, and Williamson, after giving up 399 points last year, setting a school record for the most points allowed, to go back to the drawing board a little bit and try to regroup. But as we said, at Blunt next week. Hey, how about the game coming up Saturday, Vic? We mentioned a little bit earlier, but a heck of a game, Blunt and Viger this Saturday night in Pritchard. That is going to be a fun high school football game.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be Alabama-Auburn at the beginning of the year.
He said it. Did you hear that? He said it.
After the Alabama comes out first. They're behind us still. Check the polls. And but anyway, it's going to be an exciting game. And those coaches I know are going to be excited. The players, no doubt, are going to be excited. And the fans, I think, are going to start cooking out real early tomorrow.
I think they might have started.
You're right.
Let's go down to Ashley. She's got Coach French. Ashley.
Coach French, 42-18. You must be feeling pretty good right now.
Well, we did a lot of good things. We found some things, real fundamental things. We got to go back and work on a whole lot, though. But it was good for the first outing.
Well, in the next week, you're going to be preparing for your first 7A matchup.
That's right.
Give me some, insight on what we're already gearing up for.
Well, we're going to play a great Murphy program, and, they've been good for a long time, and they expect to be one of the best teams they've had in a very long time. So, we're going to have our hands full, but we're going to give it what we got.
Well, go enjoy that grandbaby, and good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, that's the best thing in the shot, the grandbaby.
Boy, he is. He loves those grandbabies. So Baker gets the win. They're 1-0. Williamson 0-1. Our players of the game that we have nominated here for tonight. I think really the numbers may not be gaudy, but Bert Chappell really set the tone early on for this Baker team.
Yeah, and he's always going to be the guy that's the leader of this team. Now, he's 6 carries, 32 yards, 6 of 10 for 106 yards, but they got in the lead comfortably, quickly on, and he's the leader of the team.
Had those 2 touchdowns, and also Trey McMillan, the sophomore, 6 carries, 48 yards, but had a huge night on special teams. The 2 big run backs on kickoffs, and then for Williamson having the night was Adrian Portlock, all over the field, offensively, defensively. 13 carries, 133 yards for the touchdown. You can go on to local15tv.com to vote for your player of the week. As we said, I think Baker feels they're going to feel pretty good about this one. Williamson know they have some things to do, but it's going to be a lot different game, I think, for each team with their opponents they have next week.
Yeah, Murphy for Baker, and then you talked about this Williamson schedule early on is pretty tough, especially with the limited depth they've got and now some injuries.
Yeah, no doubt. And you always talk about between game 1 and game 2 is where the most learning goes on. I think both teams still will be doing that, just Williamson a little bit more.
Final score 42. How about Ashley? I think she should be up there for one of the stars of the game. Did a great job. Welcome to our crew. Great job on the sidelines for us, Ashley. So for
She looks better than you guys. I will say that.
Better than Greenwood.
Down on the sidelines, Ashley Pope, Brian Aaron, our statistician, Jared Kihas in the truck, Vic Lockett, Dan Brennan. I'm Jim Cox saying good night from Baker Stadium, where the Hornets are 1-0, 42-18. They top the Williamson Lions.